and welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? Real quick, because we got a lot to talk about this week. I got Legend in Standard. I'm playing some Wild to have fun, enjoying a lot of the modes, which we'll talk more about here shortly. Um, I'm ready for Tuesday. I'm ready for new cards.
Yep.
But this week, I'm gonna steal Avanti's role for a second. This week, we're gonna be reviewing the last of the card dump. This is our third review, so all the rest of the cards we haven't talked about. And we have some news, not a lot of news, but we are going to take some time to talk about specifically the progression systems and the new set coming out, our opinions, and some of the opinions we're getting from the interwebs on Reddit and in the communities and Discord. So yeah, let's. So if you're really looking forward to hearing that kind of news, we are going to talk about it this week because I know a lot of people are concerned about Hearthstone, and we'll give you our opinions based on our experience so far. But yeah, let's get to it, man.
All right. So, first up, let's talk about Blizzard just announced there are some new updated free decks for new and returning players. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with this, if you're a regular player, if you have been away from Hearthstone for at least 120 days, when you log back in the first time, you're going to be prompted to select a deck that will be granted to your account. And it's not just a deck for you to play, you actually get to keep all the cards that are in the deck. So
Yeah.
if you don't have, some of these legendaries that are in these decks, they're granted to your account immediately on selecting the decks. Zerotio, have you had a chance to see this in action on any of your alt accounts or anything?
I haven't done an alt account yet because I was trying to figure out the math of last time because I got the free deck last time, and I want to make sure I've gone long enough to get the free deck. So I was probably going to give it into December, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I think I might have logged into it too recent enough to get one of these. But I'm looking at these decks, and there's some really good decks in here. If you're wanting really effective decks on the ladder, Libram Paladins in here, and you get the legendary Lady Liadrin in there, as well as and High Best Allura, as well as all of the Libram Synergy cards. Mm-hmm. If you're looking just to get some solid dust, there's a few that has some really good legendaries in it. The Priest has Murazon and Mind Flayer Karj. Has Galakron, but I don't think you can't.
Everybody gets Galakron, I believe. Yeah.
And then in the rogue looking sharp, you have Jandis, Barov, Dr. Krastanov, and that's two legendaries. Most of these have two legendaries in them for the most part. I think the Shaman
has Vicina, and that may be
Instructor Fireheart.
Instructor Fireheart, yeah.
I think every single one of these have two legendaries.
Which is awesome for players who are coming back.
It's awesome, but last time they weren't as even. So people were going for the dust value ones. Mm-hmm. So I like that they're kind of making them dust equivalent. But power level wise, obviously there's a couple outliers, specifically the Libram Paladin. But once again, no Demon Hunter.
Right.
I think it just hasn't been enough time to have enough Demon Hunter cards for them to do this for returning players. Plus, Demon Hunter is a fairly new class, as well as we'll see in the reviews. Demon Hunter got a lot of extra cards in this set beyond all the other classes. Where every class got
they do state that while there is no free deck for Demon Hunter at this time, they are planning to add the class in future expansions.
I guess in the original post there was a Demon Hunter deck listed here, and then it looks like they took it out. But, Demon Hunter came out in Year of the Phoenix. We're still in Year of the Phoenix, so this doesn't bother me so much.
Right.
And Demon Hunter, in my opinion, isn't a new player-friendly class. there's a lot of fundamentals that you need. Now, obviously, returning players, Demon Hunter would be good, but
Mm-hmm.
for new players, you want to kind of stick to those fundamental classes like Hunter and Mage and maybe Warrior, and definitely Rogue. So yeah, this is fine. I'm cool with it.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So yeah, if you're just coming back, log in, get your free deck, and we'll have a link to the article that has the entire deck list for each class. So if you guys want to take a look at them before you decide on which deck you want to play, they'll be in our show notes. So we did see patch 19.0 go live this week. This is officially what they call the Darkmoon Faire patch.
So
this is now live.
all of the Darkmoon Faire cards are in the client. And actually, as we'll talk about in the progression system, you can actually get some Darkmoon Faire cards now, and you can't play them in constructed, wild or standard. But there are ways to play with those cards now, which we'll talk about more as we move on. And it's good to be able to see the cards, and for those that got a private fireside going, you were able to open your packs this weekend, which I know I did. Did you open your packs?
I did as well. I opened 128 packs. I did not open my 5 golden packs yet. I was going to do it on the show tonight at the end of the show, like I usually do. However, when I went to try to schedule the fireside for tonight, the website kept crashing. So I was unable to schedule another fireside gathering for today. So I'm going to have to wait until Tuesday to open those 5 golden packs.
That's fine. I didn't get hardly anything out of my goldens. And actually, my pack openings got better towards the end. But like I shot a screenshot in our Discord, which you can be part of if you want to go over to discord.com/heropower. As little as $1 a month, you can be part of our Discord. We're constantly talking about Darkmoon Faire and all the new stuff and that we're seeing right now. I got a legendary on my 39th pack.
Oh wow.
39th, and it's rumored that you'll get one within your 40 pack. So it's like wow. So I ended up getting 6 legendaries.
So
100.
did you not get a legendary in your first 10?
I did.
Okay.
I got a legendary in my second pack, and then it went 39 packs after that. Okay. But I got one of my I got one in the second pack, and then I got one like pack 20 something, and then it was 39 more packs later.
Okay.
So my third legendary, there was 39 packs in between.
Okay.
But I ended up getting 6 in 130 packs, so I can't complain. Well, 125, and then nothing out of the golden.
Yeah.
So I can't complain too much.
So I opened
worse than average.
I opened my packs earlier in the day because, in the past I've waited until after you've opened your packs and you've stolen all my luck. So I decided to not give you that chance this time.
So funny story. I'm watching somebody stream. Was it Mike Lowe or I can't remember who it was. And I'm at work. I can't open my packs, obviously. I see Avanties opened legendary. Avanties opened. I'm like, Avanties already opened his packs. What's going on here?
Yeah. So like I said, I had 128 packs, and of course, I got a free legendary for the first level on the progression system. So I'm not counting that one. But in my 128 packs, I opened 9 legendaries, 1 golden legendary. And then I went and looked at my achievements. I ended up with like 117 out of the 125 cards that are currently available in Dark Madness at the Darkmoon Faire. So I'm only missing like 8 cards out of the set at this point. And
nice.
I know I'm getting at least 2 more free legendaries for each of the bundles that I purchased when I open on launch day. And I'm now currently ranked 17 in progression and have earned enough gold to, plus with what I had previously, I'm going to be able to open another 25 or 30 packs come launch day if I so
Nice.
choose. I may not
Yeah.
open that many packs since I have so much of the set now.
Yeah, my progression one, which we'll talk about more in detail later, but my progression one was Tenwu, the red smoke, and then I opened six more, and I did get one. I didn't get any of the paladin legendaries,
I
but
didn't either. Not as I
I
didn't
did get
smell a paladin legendary.
I did get N'Zoth, God of the Deep, so I got one of the old gods. So I'm happy with that.
I got
Uh,
N'Zoth and Cthulhu. Those were the only two I got.
yeah, I got N'Zoth, and since I got both bundles, I will get a legendary on Tuesday as well as a golden legendary on Tuesday.
Yep.
So I'm doing pretty good. I'm kind of happy. And then gold wise, I'm just shy. I'm 5,940, so I'm just shy of 6,000 gold.
Okay. Nice.
And before the progression system, I was like just barely over 4,000 gold.
Yeah.
It was like 4,060. So I've gotten almost 2,000 gold from the progression system. So I'm
Okay.
just saying right now, I like the progression system. But we'll talk more about that here when we move on. But patch, just real quick, patch 19.0 and put in duels and made duels live for everybody.
All
It's no longer
players.
early
Right.
access, so
Right.
anybody can play duels. It's still only casual. The heroic mode, which the only difference with the heroic mode is you get ranking, uh, that goes live on Tuesday, so everybody can get into uh, duels now.
Yeah.
Whispers of the Old Gods is an eligible set to put in your decks now, which is really cool. I played like a Cthulhu druid and liked it. The
Okay.
Darkmoon Faire cards are available in buckets.
Yeah. So
So
if you guys are in our Discord, you would have seen the picture I posted
yeah,
last night. I was doing a druid run in duels, and one of my buckets comes up as lunar eclipse, lunar eclipse, lunar eclipse, and I'm
yeah,
like, sure, why not? I already have the scrying orb that makes all spells cost one less, so why not have 3 1 mana spells that deal 3 damage and make my next spell cost 2 less?
yeah. And now the Darkmoon Faire cards can be added to your deck on when you're building it on Tuesday when the set comes out. But it's really nice we can have access and play with those cards now, and you don't have to have them in your collection to get them into buckets. Also, they added one new hero power and 2 new treasures to each hero. But you have to unlock them various ways. Most of them are by getting Darkmoon Faire packs. So if you did a pre-order and you've opened your packs over the weekend, you might have access to those. And one of them makes your lunar eclipses cheaper.
Uh-huh.
So if you think you might get that bucket or get any bucket that has lunar eclipse, you might want to play, pick that one. But obviously, it's not going to be real useful until Tuesday.
Right.
Have you played any? Obviously, you played some duels over the weekend. Does it feel fresher
So
ever since the
yeah,
patch?
yeah. So one of the ways that you unlock new hero powers and treasures in duels is by opening cards and packs for the new expansion. So after I opened all of my packs on was it Thursday that I opened mine or Friday?
Friday.
I guess it was Friday. It had to have been Friday. Yeah. Yes, I opened all my packs on Friday. After that, I went into duels, and I had unlocked 25 new hero powers and treasures just
Yeah.
by opening cards and packs. So I immediately jumped in and started trying some of the new stuff. And last night, as I was saying about that druid run, I got a new druid hero power, which 2 mana reduce the cost of all cards in your hand that cost 5 or more by 1.
Oh yeah.
So
I got that one too.
I was just dropping cost down to where it was more manageable and then just absolutely destroying people, and it was
Yeah.
so much fun. I
think I had a
so much
7-win
with that
run with that druid. I also played a priest where Was it every time you play a spell, it does 1 damage to your opponent's face?
Yeah, yeah,
And
I
so I
think of
just
it.
built a spell heavy deck, and it loses its use quite a bit as you go on because your opponent's health increases. But I think I got 8 wins with that one, or 7 wins,
Uh-huh.
one of the two. Uh, so those first 2 games, I was able to just smoke through them by playing lots of spells. Um, yeah, I'm just I liked duels when it launched, but it lost luster to me because I was seeing the same
You're doing the
heroes and
exact same thing over and over.
yeah, yeah, and I like variation. I like reasons to change my deck, but there was no reason to change my deck because I was always using the same hero power and the same treasure. And now that we have 2 hero powers and 3 treasures, there's what what's that 6 different combinations that I can do, so I can change my deck up and all that stuff.
Different ways.
So
Yeah, every run can be a little different. And when it goes completely live,
yeah,
you're going to have 6 different treasures to choose from,
and three hero
and
powers.
3 different hero powers to choose from. So there's going to be just a multitude of possibilities that you
Yep.
can play around with until you find one you really like, and then
Yeah,
just go and have fun with it. I'm
because
super stoked.
I was seeing when I was playing originally, and even the first day on Thursday when it went out, everybody was picking the same heroes,
Mm.
mainly Rattlegore. And that first day,
Well,
I
to be
attribute
fair,
it to
Rattlegore's really good right
he is, but
now.
the first day on Thursday, I attributed that to people still finishing their runs that they had loaded before. And then when I was playing yesterday and some today, I'm seeing different heroes other than the normal 2 or 3, and then I'm seeing different hero powers
Yeah,
and treasures, and it's like, okay, this feels good. And if this is kind of the feeling how when we get the full package and heroic and all that kind of stuff, and who knows, they might start adding more heroes to this
yeah.
as more sets come out. I'm gonna love duels, and I'm gonna love heroic duels. It's gonna be worth the 150 goals for me. I can steadily get 7 wins, which if it's like arena, that's kind of breaking even. So this might be my way of kind of grinding out more content,
Yeah,
other than the progression system.
right. So, let's move
Battlegrounds.
on to battlegrounds because and I'm gonna kind of touch on something else here. Um, I've been playing a lot of battlegrounds this week too.
I did too. Yeah.
One of my weekly quests that I got on Thursday was deal 2,000 minion damage in battlegrounds,
Wow.
and it was so much fun. Let me tell you, uh, the new system dropped on Thursday where we got daily quests and weekly quests. I'm out of weekly quests by Friday. I'm just saying, I
Yeah,
need
yeah.
more
My
need
weekly
more
quest is
weekly
gone.
quests.
You got any more than weekly quests?
Yeah,
That's how I feel. And I think with the progression system, again, we'll talk about it more. People are feeling like they get a lot and then it kind of dies off, and I think that's just because they burned through their weekly quests, and now they don't. They're only doing the daily quests. So,
yeah,
uh, yeah, the additional weekly quest is great. The achievement system is great. But we're going to talk about that.
yeah. So
In
battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds, the new hero was added, Silas Darkmoon, who has a passive hero power of Darkmoon tickets are in the tavern. Get 3 to discover a minion from your tier. So
I have played with Silas.
I haven't. I haven't been able to get him. I got
I,
Zephyrs
I
for the
can
first
I
time.
can confirm. So the way
How's it work
so
exactly?
so here's how it works. Okay, when Bob gives you your minions,
Huh?
you will occasionally see very lightly tickets fluttering around the minion, meaning
Is it
if
clear enough?
yes, it is,
Okay.
and over the top of his hero power, he has 3 bubbles. When you buy a minion that has the ticket uh, thing around him, it fills in one of those bubbles.
So like
As
Chimbala with elementals.
yes, as soon as you buy 3 ticketed minions, you immediately get to discover another minion for free.
So it's an economy hero power,
It,
which
it
those have
is.
been good. Those have been good in the past. Chimbala was really good. Yeah, I like economy
So,
hero powers.
I think let me actually just reference my achievement list here for you guys, and I can tell you that in the battleground, let's see, when I played with Silas, uh, I got, let's see, pretty sure I finished in the top 4 with him the first time I played him,
Gotcha.
and it was a lot of fun. Maybe it's, yeah. Anyway, I can't find it right off when I'm looking for it, but yeah,
Yeah.
I know I finished at least top 4, and I really had fun with him. I ended up kind of, because the tickets can show up on anything, on
Yeah.
any minion. So you really want to go in, like, if you're playing Silas, you want to kind of have an idea for a menagerie build, because you're gonna
Because
be
it could.
recruiting you're
Yeah.
gonna be recruiting minions from all tribes to get those additional free minions.
Gotcha. So you still want to buy smartly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair.
So it was fun. I enjoyed it. He was a fun new hero to play with. So.
All right. Let's get to the meat of our discussion, because the next thing that came in the patch is the new progression and rewards revamp. So the new progression and rewards, it basically, we talked about this before. You get an achievement system. There's a page that shows all of your wins with all the classes, your class progresses, your profile page. All this is done really, really nice. It's very pretty. And then there is the achievement sections. Now there's achievements for all kinds of stuff. There's progression, gameplay, collection, adventures, game modes. And most of these are just bragging rights. They just give you achievement points, which it gives you a number in the top right-hand corner. I'm at 10,380 right now.
Wow.
Which when I started this, I was like 8,300.
Okay.
So there are some that are retroactive, that they have kept records of, and then some that they obviously weren't keeping records of,
Right.
that you have to get fresh. And like some of them, like I think the Battlegrounds one showed me that finished top 4 300 times. I'm at 279. So obviously those are retroactive, because I haven't played 279 games of Battlegrounds since then.
Right.
And you also have the rewards track, which is free to everybody. There is a bottom track that every time you reach each goal by getting experience, you get experience by just playing the game. All the time you have in just gives you small incremental experience, and then all of your quests and some of your achievements. On your achievements, it'll have a little icon that shows you the achievement points, but some of them will have a little chest. If they have a chest, they give you more rewards. Some of them might be packs, some might be gold, some also give you experience.
Right. So
some of the achievements give you experience on top of just playing and doing your daily and weekly quests. I'm currently up to I'm working on level 20 now. I've got 2,639 of 2,800 to 20. Every rank you get gold and packs, and or some of them you'll get a card like legendaries. It's not always a new pack. Some of them are older packs. And then if you decide to buy the rewards track pass, you get, which is $19.99 US, you get access to another track above it, which doesn't give rewards except for every 5 levels, and they're all cosmetic in a rewards track base. Like some will give you bonus XP. It'll increase how much XP you get, so you can go through the track faster. And then most of the rest are just portraits. They have one for
there's
Thrall.
there's 4 Thrall portraits and
They're
4
gorgeous.
Jaina portraits.
And I cannot wait to get all the way to 50 where I can
And,
get
and
the
that's
Uther
something I was
Lawbringer.
showing that to my son, and he goes, "Are they, Dad? Are they only doing 2 heroes per season?" He goes, "Because I noticed there's 4 Thrall and 4 Jaina," and I said, "I don't know. That's a good question."
Yeah. Plus, at the very end, at level 50, you get to pick one of 4.
Yeah,
So, what that makes me wonder is next season, do I still get to pick one of the 3 that's there? They haven't clarified that. I would assume yes. Right now, I'm tabbing through it now, and
yeah,
this is for the regular track. This isn't paid. If you get to level 50, and you don't have to pay anything for this, you have 4 different ones you get to pick one of. Demon Bane Illidan, Cenarian Malfurion, Giant Stalker Rexar, and Uther Lawbringer. And all of these are extremely shiny, very some of the best artwork I've seen in hero portraits ever.
mm-hmm.
But you only get to pick one. I'm obviously going to pick Uther Lawbringer, but I'm hoping that I get to pick one of these 3 and they're not lost to me in the
Right,
fabric of time.
right.
So, and what's really neat, and on the paid track, the portraits you get progressively get more animated and more robust as you go on. So they're fairly simple the first couple levels, but as you get on, like the level 45 Wolf Rider Thrall, that's one of my favorites. It looks really good. But again, you don't have to pay for you
Right,
have to pay for that track,
right.
but it's just cosmetic.
It's just cosmetic. If you don't want the cosmetics, you don't have to pay the extra, and you
Yeah.
still get all the packs of cards, all the gold.
Yep.
Now,
And this is replacing the old quest system that just gave you
and
gold for
this
new
is
quests.
kind of the point of contention for most players, is
Well, first,
how
before
much
we
average
hold on, hold
gold
on,
were
hold on.
you getting
How much was I getting back in the day?
in the old system?
I mean, I was pulling in usually. I might get 100 gold in a day if I played hard and got a lot of my gold winning bonus.
Uh-huh.
But usually just the quest, which
So,
is 60 gold.
so 100 gold a day, and you were playing every day during the expansion cycle, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
So if an expansion cycle is 4 weeks in a month, so 16 weeks, is that right?
Okay.
Times 7 days, that's 112 days in an expansion cycle times
All right.
100 gold a day.
Okay.
So that's 11,000 gold that you should have been earning.
I wasn't getting that much. I'd say I was probably getting around 6,000. Because again, I
Okay.
said it, it's 100 gold if I played heavy that day.
Yeah.
On a weekday, I might only get 50, 60 because I did my quest and then I was done.
Okay. All right.
And again, I play a lot. I play like 35 hours a week. But during the week, I get home, I eat dinner, I play a little bit of Hearthstone. I have some other obligations too,
Yeah.
whether it be content creation or THL or I play other games like Marvel Strike Force. So I might not get I might only get the
Okay.
100 a
So
day
so
on Saturday, Sunday.
let's say you're only completing your quests every day, and you're only getting the 50 gold quest every day. At 112 days, that's 5,600 gold.
That
So
sounds closer to right.
so the minimum players should have been earning was 56, while the maximum was somewhere around 11,000. And the math players are doing on this new progression system is that you're going to get some, if you do all the way up to like level 150, you're going to earn somewhere around 8,000 to 9,000 gold. So it kind of is in the middle of those
It
two
doesn't sound right to
tracks.
me because uh, Hearthstone mathematics, which usually is heavily against Blizzard's system, I want to say their numbers show that you could get 14,400 by doing that.
Well, I don't know.
So obviously,
And I guess it
and
depends
I
on.
could be
I guess it
misquoting.
really depends on if people think they're going to be getting to level 150, and how much time is that going to take.
I want to say they said it was something like close to 9,000 just to get to 50. But
Okay.
again, I haven't done the math, and I could be misquoting mathematics. I did watch their video. when they put it out the day that it launched. Um, the question I have is, what do your personal feelings? How do you feel about this progression and achievement system?
Okay, so currently I am enjoying the system right now, where we are 3 days post implementation. In those 3 days, I have gone from rank 1 to rank 17. Um, so I have earned, in that time, I have earned one, two cards, three, four, five, six packs, and one, let's see, no, 7 packs, and one, two, three, four, five, six, 700 gold.
Did you spend the $20 for the pay track?
I did. So I also have earned the Golden Silas Darkmoon, and one, two character portraits thus far.
Okay. I too am enjoying this. I was sitting, like I said, just over 4,000 gold when Thursday hit. I am sitting at 5,940 gold now. I haven't spent any on anything. So that's close to just under 2,000 gold so far. Again,
From now, let's figure that out, because according to you said you're rank 19 right now. Is that correct?
yeah, yeah,
So that's 900 gold from the rewards track.
yeah.
So
And then I've gotten some from some achievements,
okay,
and I could be misremembering my numbers that I start, but I swore it was just over 4,000. It could have been closer to 4,500. But I feel fine. I
right now,
like it so far.
yeah, I think
Right
it's
now,
important to say right now, and this is one of those
change.
things. This is one of those things we're going to have to reevaluate in
Yeah.
March.
And I'm willing to be wrong. And here's the thing. The reason we're bringing this up is there is a lot of outpour on Reddit and in various communities and Discord of people saying they're quitting the game because of the progression system, because the rewards are so much less than they were. And I don't necessarily agree with that feeling. Sure, the math might be there, but I'm not feeling like I'm getting less right now. And I know some are upset that we're getting packs that aren't Darkmoon Faire or current packs. Like later in the track, you get some Year of the Dragon packs, and people are like, "Wow, that set's going to be out of rotation come in 4 months, come March or April.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we even getting those?" And I don't share a lot of those negative feelings, but I understand them. Uh, I do believe that if people are finding the math not adding up, Blizzard will make a change.
I do too.
Now, it is very important that if you feel this way, you need to voice this opinion. You need to make sure Blizzard is aware that you feel this way, whether it's on Reddit, on Twitter, on forums. Now, make sure you do it in a constructive way. If you have math to back it up, please use that mathematics. I would recommend using your own mathematics, not someone else's, because, like I said, double checking our work or triple checking our work when it comes to things like this is important, because we want to make sure we're giving them hard numbers. And once the set comes out and I start seeing this myself, if I start feeling that it doesn't feel right, I will do the same thing. But right now, just from a feeling standpoint, I like this system. I find myself going through my achievements, trying to find the ones that give me experience and give me other rewards, and complete those. I find myself constantly going in there and checking what I did accomplish. Every time I get a little pop-up in the bottom left, it just feels good. Now, one thing to note on that is I've noticed in Battlegrounds, if you get the little cheers on the bottom left, it's probably because you lost.
Yes, I've had that. So I was playing in a battleground. I thought I was doing really well. I had a really good, well built team, and I go into the match, and at the bottom it says, "Ding! Battle achievement, battlegrounds with this hero," and I'm like, okay, and then all of a sudden I look up and I'm getting destroyed.
So I run the Hearthstone deck tracker, and I was in the one, and I was low health, and I was like, oh, so I was like, okay, I might lose this. I get in there, the fight starts, and I get a little cheers in the bottom left. And I didn't catch it, and I was like, what? It's like I lost, but Bob, my Bob add-on says that only have a 3.7% chance to lose. So that can't be right. And sure enough, I lost.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, that's a way to know. I can just bottom right at that point once I get the achievement. Now, they've said that's something they're wanting to work on.
Is timing, yeah.
Is timing. I know that in constructed matches, you get achievements for so many wins in a row with classes or just on the ladder. And so sometimes I'll pass the turn to my opponent, and all of a sudden I'll get a cheers in the bottom left. And then I'm like, oh, they must have conceded. And sure enough, 10, 15 seconds later, their portrait blows up. So there is some timing issues. And obviously, this is a work in progress. And
I think that's the most important thing to highlight is that, yes, this is a work in progress. And it will get better as it goes.
Historic Blizzard fashion is to shoot low of the goals, because it's really easy to raise them. But if you shoot too high, it's really hard to lower them.
Right.
Because the minute they say, oh, we were giving too many rewards out, we're going to back these off, the people would get outraged. Now, I don't think they would do that. Usually, Blizzard goes in favor of the players. But it's a lot easier for them to raise the rewards and make people feel good than it is to lower them. Yeah. So I know a lot of people are like, I'm quitting the game, I'm gone. But
let's talk about how would you go about, what do you feel like, let's say we're not content with the system. What do you feel like? Do you think it would be additional gold added to the track? Do you think it would be more experience per quest? What do you feel like would be something Blizzard could do to kind of appease the community?
That's hard to say, because that would have to be backed up with math and seeing what we're getting now.
As somebody who went to high school with you, I know math is not strong. So
no, my math is good. I just chose choir over math. The thing is it's hard to make that kind of statement when I feel good right now. I don't feel bad. I'm going to be getting about 60 more packs come launch. Well, probably 50 and save some for some gold for heroic duels. I don't feel like we're getting undershot. Now, if the math is there, then the math is there. I can't argue the math. But right now, just from base feeling, I feel satisfied. And if the reward system went down slightly, and I'm still feeling satisfied, maybe the old reward system was too high. I don't know. That's a bold thing to state, but I can't really answer that question until I feel that way. If they were going to make some changes, though, I think it would be to the types of packs you get, one thing, because these Year of the Dragon pack rewards do feel bad when you get them. I mean, they're just dust for me. Especially later, the later you go. I could understand them kind of early, but when you get up into levels 35, 40, 45, you really don't need to be getting those older packs. I would like to see maybe the amount of gold you get incrementally go up sooner. Like maybe 1 through 10 you get 100, but then it goes to 150, and then it goes to 200. It does that, but it's like later in the track.
Right.
So you don't hit 300 till you get to 45. And I think you could get 300 earlier and maybe have that 45 to 50 be like 500.
Okay.
And that might just be what they need to do. You know, the 1 through 10 is 100. 11 through 20 is 200. 21 through 30 is 300. 31 through 40 is 400, and then 41 through 50 is 500. And I think that, keep all the other pack rewards, maybe change the types of pack, but wherever you're getting gold, just increase it that way, and I think that might be enough. And then the bonus after you hit level 50, maybe it could stay at 150. I don't know. I'd need some more math and have more time, but I think whatever the solution is, the community will point it out, and Blizzard will consider it, and we might not get the change next week. We might not even get it next month, but I think we might. I think we'll get a change if it's needed. And so far from the community, it sounds like it's needed.
Yeah.
Again, my feeling aside, because I'm just going off feeling. I haven't delved into the math because I'm just really on a high of what I'm getting right now out of Blizzard, content-wise, card-wise, which we're going to be going over the new cards here shortly. I'm really liking the new cards. It's a happy place for me right now. So it's hard for me to look at a negative side, a negative feeling. But if there's one there, I'm sure it'll hit me eventually.
All right. So let's talk about, now that you've opened your packs and you've seen some of your cards that you know you're getting, and kind of have an idea of how much dust you're going to have, are there any day one decks that you are just absolutely dying to try?
Yes. The first one's going to be a Paladin deck, of course.
Okay.
It's going to be probably pure Paladin.
Okay.
And I haven't decided if I want to do it with Librams or not. I kind of want to look at the whole collection at that point. And then my second deck is probably going to be, if I go with a pure Paladin with no Librams, it'll probably be a pure Paladin with Librams. And if I go with a pure Paladin with Librams the first time, probably be one without Librams. So I'm going to do, the first two are going to be two pure Paladin decks. And then the third one, I'm going to go a little bit off of that, and it's going to be an Azoth Paladin.
Okay.
So I want to try a full N'Zoth Paladin, with all the really cool N'Zoth synergies and all that stuff. Well, and then the fourth one, I'm probably gonna try the Libram Paladin without being pure.
Okay. Well, I am actually trying two different classes. I'm actually trying two different classes. Okay. So I'm really interested in checking out Cthulhu Rogue, and there's some really, looks like could be some really fun synergies there. And then the other deck that I'm really interested in trying out is Menagerie Warrior.
Ooh.
So
with N'Zoth, I assume.
With N'Zoth. I opened a golden what's the name of the card? Ringmaster's Baton.
Okay.
So, after your hero attacks, give a mech, dragon, and paladin in your hand +1/+1. And then there's some other mech, dragon, pirate synergy cards coming for this class. And then, of course, there's just some really good pirates in the meta right now, with like Skybarge. And what's the one that deals a damage every time a minion comes into play?
Risky Skipper.
So yeah, there's some really good stuff right now. There's some pretty decent mechs in right now. So I'm really excited to try it out.
Talking about the Menagerie Warrior, I was looking at a lot of the cards, and I think you can do that with mainly sticking to taunt minions. Because there are some taunt buffing mechanics as well, and N'Zoth brings those back, and if they have taunt, it's just a wall of taunts.
Yeah.
Kind of a la the old school N'Zoth. Now, my day 2 decks are probably going to be a Secret Mage and a Secret Hunter. Both of I really like the secret packages.
Wait. You missed the Secret Paladin. Come on, man.
I would love a Secret Paladin, but I just don't. Oh My Yogg isn't enough to tie it together.
Okay.
I wanted to make a Secret Paladin, but I just don't think there's tools there for it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be good. I do have my limits when it comes to Paladin.
All right. Well, I guess that brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, which is Gone Fishing. and he says, "Let's
'Cause
go fishing."
I love God fishing because it's like we haven't had time to focus on a tavern brawl, so we'll just give you. We've gone fishing.
Yeah. So
Just
let's go
give you
fishing.
what we
Build
did
a
before.
deck of 20 minions. We'll give you 10 random class spells and a rod so you can go fish minions out of your opponent's deck.
Did you play
So
this?
at the end of every turn, you get a minion from your opponent's deck onto the battlefield.
Yeah, that's where I messed up.
So did my opponent.
I
My
thought I thought they were fishing them into your hand. So I built a very heavy, like high costed cards that weren't
Oh,
great to have. Like maybe they were high cost but low stats. And most of them had death rattles.
yep.
And yeah, I conceded right away when I realized what I did wrong. So I went back and made a pure paladin that all my minions were battle cries.
Okay. So
So
they didn't get
basically,
the.
they were getting low statted, low valued minions you know, with that couldn't get their battle cries. But
Yeah.
I was drawing battle cry minions,
Right. Right.
and I won that one.
So I went hunter and I built my deck with, little stuff, leopard gnomes, pin flingers, shimmer flies, the imprisoned Felmaw, which my opponent drew multiple times into play, and then it's dormant for 2 turns.
I mean, that's good because it's dormant, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't kill them. It's a
Right.
5/4.
So I was able to get multiple wins using this deck, but my first win came in my very first game. I was playing against a demon hunter. The demon hunter used their hero power, attacked, destroyed their fishing rod, and then went, "Oops, concede."
Oh, because they attacked,
Because they attacked, and once you
and it has
attack,
one durability.
the fishing rod's gone. You're not getting any more minions out of your opponent's deck. So
Oh,
I was
look
getting
at
my minions and their minions.
so bad, so bad. Now, one thing that was really interesting in me that I noticed, if you opened your packs this weekend, you can put Darkmoon Faire cards into your deck in this tavern
Oh, into your Tavern Brawl deck.
because as I'm tabbing
I did
through,
not look at that.
I'm seeing Darkmoon Faire cards and they're selectable. And I was like, ooh, so if you want to try out some of these Darkmoon Faire cards, you
Yeah.
can put them in this Tavern Brawl if you
Interesting.
opened any, especially if you got a legendary from the free track of the progression system, the reward track. You can put that in your deck in this Tavern Brawl.
Okay.
Now it
Yeah.
is standard only. You can't put wild cards, but you can put the new Darkmoon Faire cards in.
Yeah. And the other thing, I'm actually looking at this right now, is it shows you, like, if you look at your collection, it just shows the cards are locked and not available for use. You can't see how many of each card you have, but on
Yeah.
this screen you can.
You can, yeah.
So nice.
So
Okay.
you can use it as a way to view your collection, if you want to see what cards you got and how many of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that was a little thing I saw because I didn't play the Tavern Brawl until this morning because I was working on
Gotcha.
Legend yesterday and I wanted to make. I had THL Friday night and then Legend yesterday and then I was going to play Tavern Brawl. I only got into it because I realized I hadn't played it yet, and I wanted to get the achievement for Tavern Brawl.
Yeah.
So
See, I did mine on Wednesday, so I still haven't gotten
Yeah.
that achievement.
So, oh yeah, so you need to go back and try it with the new cards and get
Yeah.
the achievement.
Yeah. So, all right. That brings us to our final part of our review of Madness at the Darkmoon Faire.
And we're going to try to kick through these. I know a lot of you like longer episodes, but we did take a lot of time talking about the progression system. So when we get to the neutral cards, we're probably going to do a lot of skimming. We are going to read out every card that hasn't been revealed yet and reviewed on the show, but we will probably be kind of skipping an in-depth discussion on some of the neutral
Yeah.
cards, especially the commons.
All right. So let's get started with Demon Hunter. First up, we
Yes.
have Zai the Incredible. 5 mana, 5/3, battle cry. Copy the left and rightmost card in your hand. So basically, this doesn't have Outcast, but it's
No.
looking at the cards that are on the left and right like Outcast would, and it's duplicating those cards.
Yeah, I don't think it's very good. If there's a Highlander Demon Hunter that pops up again, maybe this is a one of, but this really throws off your Outcast cards,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not always going to duplicate the cards that you really want. Part of you says you want this in a aggressive style Demon Hunter, so you can copy those twin slices. But at 5 costs and not using those twin slices until then, is it really complementing an aggressive style?
Right.
And if it's a slower Demon Hunter, what do you copy? You might be copying cards that are like 8, 9 costs that you can't play 2 of them in one turn. I think it has potential, maybe in that token, to maybe copy some of your token generators to even have more token generators in that new Demon Hunter that hasn't been successful yet.
Personally, I don't think this card. I don't think we're ready for this card.
No, I
We
think it's
need
the next set card.
This is a next set card for something that's going to have something to help boost it and make it better.
As a reminder, we did tweet out our rating spreadsheet
Yes.
for Coin Concede, ourselves, and I think Squelch is using it as well. So definitely check out our tweet at HeroPower_cast and follow that link and put your own ratings on this.
I've got to go finish mine.
So. Yeah, I did mine day one when it came out, and I haven't looked back at it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, we have an epic elemental minion, the Fell Steel Executioner. It's a 3 mana, 4/3 minion, but if you corrupt it, it becomes a weapon.
Yeah, and it becomes a 3 mana, 4/3 weapon. That just says corrupt on it. So that weapon will come back to you if you played Yasharj. So I think in the deck this wants to be in, it's too slow because you have to corrupt it. And the deck that it is meant for, there's already other weapons in that deck. So you might end up getting a handful of weapons. So
yeah,
I think Fellsteel Executioner might just be in an aggressive Demon Hunter if you play it. And if it gets corrupted, it's another weapon. But it's probably going to be cut after a week or two.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that great.
Next up, we have a rare spell, Throw Glaive. It's a 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. If it dies, add a temporary copy of this to your hand.
So this is definitely meta dependent. If there's a lot of 2 or less cost minions in the meta, you put this in your Demon Hunter deck. Another note is there is an achievement for how many minions you kill in a turn with Glaive Toss or with Throw Glaive. So that might be something you put in your deck to do that achievement.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it really depends on what the meta is like. And also remember, you have to kill them. It does. A lot of people say, why didn't they put Echo on this? Because it doesn't have Echo. It's a contingent Echo.
Right.
You only get another copy of this if the minion dies. If you hit a 2/3 with this, you're not going to get another copy. So be very careful when you use it.
Ordering is important.
I think this is kind of a fringe card. It might go in some decks, but ultimately there may be better 1-cost cards to put in there, like the 1 mana silence may just be better.
Okay. Next up, we have a common weapon, the Dreadlord's Bite. It's a 3 mana, 3/2 weapon with Outcast. Deal 1 damage to all minions all enemies. All enemies. So that 1 damage hits face as well.
So if you Outcast this, it's essentially a 4/2. Because if you're playing this in your deck, you're probably going face with it. And this is why I think the Fellsteel Executioner that
won't see as much play.
Don't see as much play because Dreadlord's Bite I think is just a better weapon. Yes, it has lesser stats, but you can play this on 3, and a 3-mana 3/2 weapon is just good.
Yeah.
I mean, Fiery War Axe, Eaglehorn Bow. There's so many 3-mana 3/2 weapons that people just put in decks, and this has a decent effect if you can outcast it. But I think if it didn't have the outcast on it, I'd still put this in my Demon Hunter deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. All right, moving on. We have a common demon minion. It's a insatiable Fellhound. It's a 3-mana 2/5 with taunt and corrupt. Gain +1/+1 and life steal.
We talked about the legendary that has lifesteal and makes your lifesteal do damage. And I think this card goes in a deck designed to take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's Il'gynoth. We talked about it last
That's
week.
right. I just don't think that deck exists. I think Il'gynoth just goes with Soul Demon Hunter, and that's it. So I think this is a good card for that deck, but if that deck exists, it's probably tier 3.
I just want to point out my golden legendary that I opened was a golden Il'gynoth. So we'll see.
Nice.
Next up, we have another common minion, the Line Hopper. He's a 3-mana 3/4. Your outcast cards cost 1 less.
So I think this is just your outcast cards, period. They don't have to be outcasted.
That sounds like that is the way it reads.
So if you have an outcast card, but you're not casting it in the outcast position, it's still going to be 1 less. And if that's the case, this is a good card.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not the case.
It's got
I don't
good.
know if
It's got
that's
good stats at 3 mana for a 3/4 body, and if it's reducing the cost of all your outcast cards by 1, that's just good.
And we're starting to get more outcast cards that an outcast Demon Hunter can probably be successful. I think it's a mid-range deck. I don't think it's aggressive.
I agree. I agree.
Might mean that a lot of people don't want to play that because they tend to want to gravitate towards aggressive lineups. With even the control, quote unquote, control Demon Hunter is fairly aggressive. So I don't know if that deck gets off the ground. But if so, this card, a 3-mana 3/4 is just good, and it's reducing cards in your hand by 1. Yeah.
So let's talk about that wording, your outcast cards, because this next card says that as well. And that is redeem.
It's like the person that made this slide is smart and put those cards together.
Yeah, it's like you're welcome. It's called Redeemed Pariah. Look, you take credit for my work all the time.
It's fair. It's fair.
So it's Redeemed Pariah. It's a 2-mana 2/3. After you play an outcast card, gain +1/+1.
Yeah, and 2-mana 2/3s that have effects on them, especially if they're static effects that grow, are good. And after you play an outcast card, again, if this means just playing the card, not that it has to be outcasted, then this is a good card. And I think that's the way it's worded. I don't think the card has to be outcasted. But if that's the case, then this is just good. And it might make that deck a little more aggressive. The problem is it's a 2-mana 2/3, so you probably don't want to play it on 2. You probably want to play it aside it's kind of like Questing Explorer. Not Questing Adventurer.
What's the runner that's like a 1-mana outcast draw card? So that would be a turn 3 play. You play this and then that.
Exactly. And do you really want to do, or maybe turn 5? Maybe you want Line Hopper, then Redeem Pariah, then you play the free runner.
The free runner, yeah.
Again, that's why I think this goes more in a mid-range and not an aggressive deck.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good if that deck exists, and I think it will.
I might have to play around with that. That sounds interesting to me because I love the mid-range style decks. So, all right, moving on. We have another common spell called Fellscream Blast. It's 1 mana, life steal, deal 1 damage to a minion and its neighbors. So, like, so let's say you're playing against another Demon Hunter and they have the Illidari minion, the 1/1 Illidari's on the board. This is a good way to clean up the board and gain a little life.
This is. But we've learned when it comes to 1 damage kind of sweep spells, this isn't a full board spell. It's not AoE. It's just a sweep spell. That sometimes 1 damage just isn't enough.
Yeah.
You need spell damage in there. Now, some of the classes have done the 1 damage ones and made them work because they have plus spell damage. We don't see a lot of plus spell damage minions going in Demon Hunter, and I don't think you want to put those in there just for this card. And again, I think there's a lifesteal deck out there somewhere, and it's probably not good. This might be another next set card.
Right.
I think a lot of these lifesteal cards, aside from Il'gynoth, will probably be something we'll see fleshed out next year.
Okay. All right. Then we've got Acrobatics. It's a 3 mana spell. Draw 2 cards. If you play both this turn, draw 2 more. So
this is good.
This is a draw engine.
I mean, it's Arcane Intellect that can get double its effect for no cost.
Yeah.
Again, you're going to have a lot of people that are like, oh, I don't want to play this because I'm only on 3 mana and I want to be able to play the 2 cards I draw to draw 2 more. No, just play this on 3 mana, draw your 2 cards, and it's good.
Yeah.
This is an Arcane Intellect that if you play late game can give you benefit.
Right.
And I think this just goes in Demon Hunter decks.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Relentless Pursuit. It's a 3 mana. Give your hero +4 attack and immune this turn.
The immune only matters if you're trading.
Or clearing something with your face, yeah.
You're trading. And you don't want to do that in Demon Hunter. You just want to hit face.
Right.
And 3 mana to give your hero +4/+4. You can do that on 1 card for 2 mana with Twin Slice.
Correct.
So I don't think, unless there's a more control-y Demon Hunter that really wants the longer game, maybe mid-range can use this as an extra clear to make sure their outcast minions or their minions that are getting buffs don't get traded into. So maybe this has fringe applications, but I don't think it goes in every Demon Hunter, but I think it's playable.
Okay. All right. Moving on to Druid.
Now, one thing to note, there are more Demon Hunter cards in this set than all the other classes. All classes get 10. I think Demon Hunter gets like 14 or 17, something like that.
Because they're playing catch up with Demon Hunter.
They are. Every set you're going to see a few more Demon Hunter cards, and eventually they'll probably
even out. Yeah.
Calm that down. I say probably next year because they'll have, or after next year because they'll have 2 full years of Demon Hunter sets.
Right. Okay.
So 2022 we'll probably see it even out.
Yeah. So next up we have Druid and the legendary Greybow. It's a 5 mana 4/6 with Taunt, Death Rattle. Give a random friendly minion Death Rattle, summon Greybow.
So this was a weird card for me, and when I first saw this card, I was like, "This wants to go in a token Druid."
Yeah.
But you don't play taunts in token Druid.
Right.
And then I saw the actual reveal video with Dexter, who revealed this card, and he kind of brought up the same thing, but he's like, if they want to clear your smaller minions, they're going to have to go through this taunt. And then once they go through this taunt and then clear your smaller minions, the taunt's going to come back.
Yeah.
You actually don't want this in a slower Druid because you usually don't have more than 2, maybe 3 minions at any one time. And they usually get dealt with all at once, where with token, you can flood the board so fast that they kind of have to deal with each minion individually. And I think this seems weird to have a 5-cost taunt in a token Druid, but I think it's going to be successful in that deck.
This kind of reminds me of the thing they did with Lucent Bark, where when it dies, you heal 5, it comes back,
but that promoted a slower game. This promotes having tokens. Yeah. Having minions that come back. This is great with Soul of the Forest because you have your minions with Soul of the Forest.
Yeah. And
if he clears the whole board, including Greybow, if those Soul of the Forest tokens were on before, it'll summon the 2/2, and then Greybow will go on that. You got to be careful with the ordering. But it's going to be really hard to deal with minions that have death rattles that summon other minions.
Right. So, all right, we'll have to see what kind of use
I like
case
it. I
there
think it's
is
going to
for
be good.
Greenbow.
I think it's going to be good.
Next up, we have a Druid Epic Spell, Cenarian Ward. It's 8 mana, gain 8 armor, summon a random 8 cost minion. So there's some pretty good 8 cost minions out there.
It costs is
get,
good. It's
get a
just
King
good.
Crush, get
Yeah.
a Lucent Bark. There's.
King Crush is 9.
Huh?
King Crush 9?
Is he? I thought he was 8.
Yeah.
He
Pretty sure
might
he's
be
9
9.
mana, 8/8.
You're right. He is. Yeah.
The thing with Cenarian Ward is you play Hidden Oasis.
Okay. At 8, get yourself a Tyrion.
What I'm saying, you play Hidden Oasis in Quest Druid, and that's 6 mana to heal and get a 6/6 taunt.
Yeah.
You're usually gonna get a 6/6 taunt out of this, or better. So this is 8 mana to heal for 8. Even if you're at max health, you're still healing for 8, and you get an 8 cost minion. I think this is, a lot of people are saying it's too heavy costed. I think it's perfect.
Oh yeah.
Heavy
yeah.
costed. They're like, well, even if you ramp early, that's all you're doing in this turn. Yeah, gaining 8 armor and somebody get 8 cost. I would play a good 8
pretty
cost.
good turn. Yeah.
So I think this is
especially
good.
if you're casting this on their turn 6.
Yeah, definitely.
So
and maybe even faster with Eclipse in combination of ramp. So
yeah.
This is a good card. I think this is a sleeper because a lot of people are saying it's bad, and I think it's very good.
Okay. Next up, we have a rare elemental druid minion, the Fizzy Elemental. It's a 9 mana 10/10 with Rush and Taunt.
So I don't think this card goes in decks. They made it an elemental to kind of promote N'Zoth, but I really I don't think you put it in a deck. It does make the 9 mana evolve slot and random summon slot better because historically 9 mana has got lots of 4/12s in it. It's got lots of low costed minions with big effects and big battle cries. So historically 9 is just bad, and it has rush. So if you do summon it, you can immediately attack with it, and it has taunt. So like on the backswing, they have to go through it. So I don't think it goes in decks, but I think we're going to see it in play quite a bit.
Okay. Next up, we have a rare Druid Beast minion, the Umbral Owl. It's 7 mana, 4/4 rush, costs 1 less for each spell you've cast this game.
Sure, you can get this free, but is a free 4 mana, free 4/4 rush that great? And summoning off N'Zoth doesn't feel great either.
I don't know. We'll have to see. If there's some sort of a use case for Beast Druid, but I mean, honestly, at the 7 mana slot, I'd rather run Winged Guardian at full cost.
Now, mind you, this probably wouldn't be 7 cost, and we've seen cost reducing minions do really well, but that's because they were either neutral or in a class that could evolve them easily, like a class that had lackeys, so they could witchy lackey it, or a class that like Shaman, that could evolve a 9-drop into a 10-drop that was free. There was a free 9-drop. So I don't think Druid does either one of those things. So reducing the cost of this is inconsequential, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know. If it was a little lower costed and could be pulled off of your the Animal Guardians or whatever that card is, the 8 cost. Yeah. But again, there's better minions that can be pulled off that. So I just don't think it's good.
Okay. All right. Moving on, we have a rare Druid spell, Moon-Touched Amulet. It's a 3 mana. Give your hero +4 attack this turn, or corrupt it and gain 6 armor. So if this is corrupted, for +4 attack and 6 armor, that seems pretty good for 3 mana.
That's good. It goes in every Druid deck except maybe Token. And heck, maybe even in Token. 3 mana for 4 attack. in a class that you're just wanting to push face, and you have the sustain if you have to play it late game and deal with the control deck. Yeah, this is good. This is just, it's good. You put that in the druid now.
Yeah, yeah. All right, next up we have a common minion, the Fair Arborist. It's a 3-mana 2/2. This is a choose one, draw a card, or summon a 2/2 Treant. If it's corrupted, you get both.
So I've heard a lot of people say that this is only good if it's corrupted, and to this I say you can put this in Quest Druid, and it doesn't have to be corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get your choose one effects both. You get both of your choose one effects. So now whether it's good enough because you can't play it on curve, I don't know. But you're not going to play it on curve anyway. So maybe this goes into Quest Druid. I don't know if Quest Druid can be good. Maybe there's some weird Quest Corrupt Druid. Then this card kind of loses its luster on the Corrupt. I don't know. I think it's got some application in the right deck. We just have to figure that deck out. Right. I don't think it's terrible, but maybe a token druid. Maybe you just want a 3. Maybe you want a 3-mana 2/2. It summons another 2/2.
Okay. All right. We'll check it out.
I think it's playable.
Moving on to Hunter, we have a legendary weapon, Ringling's Rifle. So this is a 4-mana 2/2. After your hero attacks, discover a secret and cast it.
So I'm torn on this card. What do you think about this? Because I want some input that it's not my own brain because I'm split.
So it's going to depend on the top of Hunter you're playing, I believe.
Yeah.
If you're playing a aggro, you're probably not going to be running a whole lot of secrets. If you're playing a mid-range, or especially a control hunter, you're probably going to be running more secrets where, now, hunter secrets cost 2 mana.
Yeah.
So this is 4 mana for a 2/2 weapon.
So it's a free 2/2, essentially.
Basically, yeah. But you're also getting to discover a secret that's not in your deck and cast it. So this could give you 3 of one secret top in a deck. Essentially, if you're running the other 2 in a control build.
The question is, do you want to put this in a non-secret based hunter?
I don't know if a 4-mana 2/2 weapon is worth it. I mean, you're going to get the free secret, but I don't know if that's worth it in a non-secret control type build.
Do you want to put this in a secret synergy hunter?
I think I would.
The problem I have with this is you're getting a bunch of secrets off this, which is what you want to do in Secret Hunter. But what benefits from that the most in Secret Hunter is Eaglehorn Bow, and you can't because you already have a weapon equipped.
Right.
So you would have to equip this, get 2 attacks off, that's 2 turns, to get 2 secrets, to have them not get triggered, then equip the Eaglehorn Bow to start getting benefits from it. So I probably will try this with 2 Eaglehorn Bows and 1 Ringling's Rifle, maybe 1 of each, and then just see how it feels.
Yeah.
And that's why on day 2 I want to try this Secret Hunter and Ringling's Rifle if I have it, if I open it. I probably won't craft it for this test, but if I open it, I likely will try it both variants and see which one gives me the best results.
Okay. Well, I didn't open any Hunter legendaries, so
I didn't either. I don't think.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what I get out of my additional packs. But all right, moving on. We have a Hunter epic spell, Jewel of N'Zoth. It's an 8-mana. Summon 3 friendly Death Rattle minions that died this game.
So somebody posted in one of the groups I'm in, the orc, the Lord of the Rings orc meme. It says Death Rattle Hunter's back on the menu, boys. So, does this revive a Death Rattle Hunter? I don't
I don't
know.
think
It
so. I don't
does.
know.
I think the big reason for Death Rattle Hunter's success was that 2/2 Death Rattle mech that destroyed a minion did Deadly Shot.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we don't have one of those. Now, we do have a lot of damage-based death Rattles. We saw the legendary, not legendary, the Tonk that goes with the legendary last week. And maybe there's, by the time, a lot of people say this is too expensive at 8 mana. But at that time, it's almost like a N'Zoth, a mini N'Zoth effect. Obviously, dueling
So
N'Zoth. That's what you're going for.
I think if you pick your death rattles well, you don't just throw in a bunch of death rattles into the deck, but you hand pick. You run Teacher's Pet, Savannah Highmane, Darkmoon Tonk, and you're guaranteed to get those back on this, maybe.
So what if we went a different route and we ran this in a Highlander Hunter and we put in things like the 3/4 Reborn that heals you for 3 when it dies. Put in control-y aspect death rattles.
Yeah. I think, like I said, if you put in quality chosen death rattles that are going to give great value, this could work.
Again, yeah, I think it has a place. The deck's just not here right now. This is one thing I'd like to really test.
Kartut Defender, that's the one you're thinking.
Kartut Defender, yeah.
You run Kartut Defender, you run Darkmoon Tonk, you run,
and maybe you run death rattles that have different creature types, so you can also put in the new N'Zoth.
Exactly.
So you can get those minions back recurringly. So, Res Hunter,
maybe
that sounds horrible. I mean, not horribly bad, but like I don't want to face that on the ladder. If Res Priest had a hero power that did 2 damage to my face every turn, I don't think I could sleep at night. And then that's what you're getting out of this.
Yeah, possibly.
I think it's. I mean, this is mass res for death rattles for 1 mana cheaper. Yeah, it's good. I think we have a res hunter, and it's going to be horrible to play on the ladder.
All right. Next up, we have a rare beast minion, the Trampling Rhino.
This makes me happy.
It's a 5 mana 5/5 with Rush. After this attacks and kills a minion, excess damage hits the enemy hero.
And it's a beast.
I was killed by this in duels the other day.
Oh, were you? So I love the throwback to Magic the Gathering because this has the trample effect. And people have said, I would love for trample to be an effect in Hearthstone. Maybe this is them saying, let's put it on a minion, see how people react to it, if it's OP or whatever. Maybe it's something we keyword later on. I don't know if there's any legalese with that because it is very much like the trample effect. I love how they put trampling in the name. So I like that this card exists. I don't know how good it's going to be.
I was playing a duel. I was at 1 health. I had a 4/5 taunt, the one that spits out a 3 mana minion when it dies. I can't think of the name of it right now. Help me.
The 3 mana beast.
It's a 5 mana beast. It's a 4/5 taunt. Death rattle.
Oh yeah.
Summon a 3 mana minion.
My brain's not been keeping up today. Pack something. No.
Teacher's Pet. So I had a Teacher's Pet on the board. I'm at 1 health. My opponent kills the Teacher's Pet, and it spits out the 1/4 taunt monkey.
Okay. Like, hey.
My opponent then plays Trampling Rhino, hits the monkey, kills me from the trample damage.
You had 1 health?
I was at 1 health and had a 1/4 taunt on the board, and I died to the trample damage.
A lot of people think you'll get a lot of face damage out of this, but it really depends on what your board state is. Obviously, if you have an empty board, they throw this on the board, nothing's going to happen because they don't have anything to run into. So I think it's I think it's a balanced effect.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
How
it.
good it's going to be, I don't know. We'll have to see.
I don't know, but I like the idea. I like the flavor of what the card is and what it does.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have a hunter common spell, Open the Cages. 2 mana, secret. When your turn starts, if you control 2 minions, summon an animal companion.
So this is, remember back in the day when secrets could trigger on your turn,
Yeah.
and then they changed it so they only trigger on your opponent's turn. This is a weird throwback to how the secrets used to work because this doesn't trigger on your turn, your opponent's turn. It triggers on your turn, but your opponent can affect the board state by making sure you don't have 2 minions.
Correct.
Now, according to Crypt, this always summons Huffer. That isn't the case. I've heard a lot of people on Reddit think that was serious. I'm like, so it always summons Huffer? No, it doesn't.
It
every
always
time we've
it
seen
always
it played,
summons
it
Huffer if you're playing against Crip.
Yeah.
That's the asterisk.
Again, I like new secrets that are triggered in ways that aren't the norm.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have a secret up, they go, well, they have 2 minions. I need to clear one of those minions. But what if it's Pack Tactics and then I'm giving them another minion?
Right.
What if it's Snake Trap and I'm giving them 3 more minions? Do I really want to trade into that minion to try to test for Open the Cages? Or can I afford not to? So I like that it's contradicting other trigger mechanics, and they've done that best, in my opinion, in Hunter. And this is a good secret.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can get more of them by having the Ring Ninja weapon and other ways to discover secrets. Secret Hunter is going to be strong because the way you beat Secret Hunter is you count their secrets.
Right.
So they've used 2 Explosive Trap, can't be Explosive Trap. They've used 2 Freezing Trap, can't be Freezing Trap. Well, that's not the case anymore.
Correct. Especially with this new common minion, Mystery Winner.
Yeah.
It's a 1 mana 1/1. Battle cry, discover a secret.
Yes, so also thing to note that you can get this in other classes and it will discover your class's secrets, or if you don't have secrets in your class, it will discover a hunter secret.
Okay.
That's how it's always worked.
Okay.
I don't see him changing it now. But the reason I say that is because you can, and I have in duels, gotten this off
a bucket?
First day of class.
Oh, first day of class. Okay, for Paladin. Gotcha.
And I was like, ooh, I could really use a hunter secret. And I didn't think about it. And I played this and I was like, oh, I got a Paladin secret. Nice. So it will give you a secret from your class if you have a class secret in your class.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Dancing Cobra. It's a beast minion. It's a 2 mana 1/5. But the key is if you corrupt it, it becomes a poisonous 1/5.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of people say this is bad because they go back to, what was that 2 mana 1/5 mech that was upgradable frame bot or something?
Yeah.
And it was bad. You didn't put it in decks, but it didn't have poisonous.
It didn't. And, this could kill a minion with 3 health or a minion with 4 health and still live to kill something else.
And they're trying to promote hand buffing, especially beast hand buffing. Maybe this isn't a 2 mana 1/5 with poisonous. Maybe this is a 2 mana 3/7 with poisonous. I think the 5 health is very relevant. The fact is because it can have poisonous.
Yeah.
And sure, this probably would be immensely better if it had rush. But there's ways to give minions rush. I mean, there's a 1 mana neutral that just gives your minions rush.
Right.
So maybe you put Broom in that deck just because you can benefit from your death rattles, your immediate corrupt effects, your poisonous,
Yeah.
I don't think this is as bad as everybody's saying. I think it is fringe. I think it's going to meet a specific role in your deck, almost like a tech card. But I think it's good.
Okay. Moving on, we now have Mage. And this is the first time we've seen either of these two mage
Yes,
legendaries.
this is exciting.
So first up, we have a legendary mage spell, Deck of Lunacy. It is a 2 mana transform spells in your deck into ones that cost 3 more. However, they keep their original cost.
So I've heard from terrible card to broken card needs to be nerfed already. And a lot of it stems down to people don't understand how the card works. And I'll be honest, when I first read it, I didn't understand how the card worked either. So it takes every spell that's left in your deck, which this is a legendary spell. I think it was
That
shown
only costs
on
2.
yeah, that only costs 2. It was shown on a lot of theory crafting where people made this deck, and they only had like 9 cards left in their deck when they played it because it was towards the bottom of their deck. So that's a drawback of it. Second is it transforms spells into 3 costs more but keeps the cost. So everybody's like, oh, all your 1-cost cards are going to turn into fireballs or have a high chance for fireballs. No, because this isn't. They don't transform into made spells that cost 3 more. They transform into any spell that costs 3 more. So they can become hunter spells, warlock spells. So that lowers the effectiveness. Basically, this is that I'm trying to remember the name of the warlock card. It was 2 mana, and change your entire deck to another class and reduce the cost by 1.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It turned all of your warlock cards into another class. You got the hero power, so you knew what class it was, and it reduced all their cost by 1. It's basically that card, and I don't. It's going to show up on highlight reels. People are going to get this cast off Yogg or Yogg effects, and curse the world that it happened to them because now their deck is totally different and they don't know what it is. I think that's the most we're going to see this card as off random effects. I think it was. I have a feeling that this was probably a 1-mana spell that they changed to 2 mana late in the cycle after they saw all the 1-mana spell generating cards get cards. I think it probably should be 1 mana because it would water down that pool more with a card that is very random. But I don't think it's good, but I think we'll see a lot of it.
Okay. All right, so that brings us to our next legendary, Sage, Seer of Darkmoon. It's a 6-mana, 5/5 minion. Battle cry, draw 1 card. Upgraded for each friendly secret that has triggered this game.
Yeah, so Secret Mage is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I think this new version of Secret Mage is going to be, unlike other ones we've seen that are very aggressive, it's going to be more tempo. And I welcome it. I do think this card goes in the deck initially, but I'm not sure if it stays in the deck. Because A, Mage has lots of ways to draw. And B, this can be a drawback. If you've had 6 secrets trigger, and you play this and you have to draw 6 cards, are you going to overdraw? Are you going to burn cards? So there probably is hand management issues with this. Now it's tied to a 5/5 body, so maybe you just say, yeah, I burn cards, but I don't care. Because at that point I'm ahead. And at that state I say, well, do you need this card? So I'm on the fence with it. I'm definitely, if I open him, I'm going to put him in my Secret Mage, but I don't know how long he'll stay there.
Yeah. All right, next up, we have a Mage rare spell, Grand Finale. So this is an 8-mana, summon an 8/8 elemental, repeat for each elemental you played last turn. So I know one of our patrons, Anjun-san, is a big fan of Elemental Mage.
Yeah.
So I bet this card is right up his alley, but I'm looking forward to seeing if this actually has a spot in the meta.
Well, we'll be talking about an elemental in the common section that may make this viable. The problem I run into is, sure, you might be able to pull off turn where you get 4, maybe even 5 8/8 elementals, and at that point, you in most games you win. But if in the meta at that time is warrior, then all they gotta do is one blade storm.
Yeah.
And at 8 mana, it doesn't leave you a lot of room to plop a 1/1 next to it or any other small minion next to it just to protect from a blade storm. Is it worth discounting this card because of one class? I think it is, if that's what the meta is driving you towards. So if the meta is pushing away a control-y style warrior, and you're mainly seeing you're not seeing a lot of control tools like Bladestorm or Brawl, then Grand Finale probably goes in that deck. If you have a lot of elemental synergy. But if that deck exists, which I think it will, I don't think it's worth running the Grand Finale for it to just be countered with a 3 mana or a 5 mana spell and be done with. I mean, we saw this before when Twisting Nether was in the meta. Big board flood cards couldn't be played because people were just Twisting Nether on 8. Well, Twisting Nether left the meta, then all of a sudden those cards came out again. So we'll just have to see what's in the meta. I think it's, if you can play this without it being countered the next turn by your opponent easily, then it stays there.
Okay.
And again, that's if Elemental Mage can be a thing.
Right. So, all right. Next up, we have another rare mage spell, Mask of Cthulhu. This is a 7 mana, deal 10 damage, randomly split among all enemies.
So Decalunices will have this turn into a 4 mana Mask of Cthulhu, and that will be scary.
Yeah.
Also, Mask of Cthulhu in your deck can turn into a Pyroblast.
A 7 mana Pyroblast, yeah.
A 7 mana Pyroblast, which in a sense it kind of is. I don't know. Mage doesn't have anything that sets all your minions to 1 health or anything like that, so I don't know how effective in other classes like, say, Paladin or Warrior, this effect would be broken, even at 7 mana. It depends on if there's a lot of board flood and if you're still alive at 7. I think we're going to see this more of random effects than anything. I don't think you put it on in your deck day 1, but it has potential.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a common minion, Game Master. So this is a 2 mana, 2/3. The first secret you play each turn costs 1. I think this is going to see a lot of play. Especially if we're thinking Secret Mage is going to be as big as it is. I mean, you can play this and a secret.
Yeah. The thing is to me, this kind of looks a lot like Kirin Mage. Do you want to play this over a Kirin Mage, which is a 3 mana 4/3? The next secret this turn costs 0. This essentially does a similar effect because on 3 you can play this and then play a secret, which is how you handle Kirin Mage. The advantage that it has over Kirin Mage is that it lives more than one turn, you're getting repeated benefit because it's a first secret, not all secrets.
Right.
So because it's a 2/3 body, I don't think it's better than Kirin Mage.
But see, so here's the thing. If Kirin Mage lives beyond the first turn, you're not getting any additional benefit other than it having a 4 attack. This is going to draw resources because they're not going to want to give you that ability a second time.
So it has taunt.
It basically has taunt.
That's where I'm torn. Is it sounds like you're saying that extra 2 attack is not more than having the threat of playing
the extra 3 health that you're not going to take Or the extra 3 damage you're not going to take because they're going to be removing
And see,
this.
I think the 4/3 body is better than the 2/3 body. And obviously, the health is the same either way, so it's going to be the same amount of resources to get rid of it, except unless they attack with a minion. So, if they have a 3/3 out on the board to contest this, the 3/3 lives when
Right.
it trades into this, where Kirator dies. So, again, it'll probably, like I said, on day 2, I want to do both Secret Mage and Secret Hunter. And in both of those decks, I have one card I'm kind of on the fence on. Do I play with Ringling's Rifle? Do I not? And then this one, do I play with Game Master or do I put in
Right.
the Kirator Mage? And I'll probably try both variations.
Uh-huh.
As of right now, my initial feelings, the Kirator Mage is going to be better feeling. And because it's a classic card, or is it a basic card? It's a classic card. Because it's a classic card, unless they change up the classic set, we will have this in place of Game Master forever. So I don't think Game Master fits there, but I'm proving wrong. I'm all for it.
Okay. Next up, we have a common elemental minion, the Confection Cyclone. This is a 2-mana 3/2 battle cry. Add 2 1/2 sugar elementals to your hand.
This art is amazing. First, it's a giant sundae with that looks like a swirling vortex with arms.
It looks like cotton candy to me.
This is how I see a sundae with my diabetes. it's ready to beat me up. It's like, come on, help me, buddy. I'll put you in a coma. No, I like this card. I think it's what makes Grand Finale playable. The only problem I have with this card is a 2-mana 3/2 that you want to play on turn 2 to get those 1/2s. And we've seen any elemental that generates the 1/2 sugar elemental or the 1/2 elementals. Period.
Right.
Those are strong.
Playable. Yeah.
Do you want to wait until turn 7 to play all those elementals? That's the question.
Right.
And if you want to play Grand Finale in that deck, you want to wait until turn 7 to dump all your elementals. Well, if you're in an elemental synergy deck, can you afford to do that and lose the board those first 6 turns? Now, arguably, you could play the Confection Cyclone on turn 2 to contest the board and then not play the 1/2s. But then you're still holding them onto them for 5 turns.
Right.
So, if Grand Finale is playable, meaning cards like Bladestorm and Brawl aren't in the meta, and big board clears like that, and maybe even Lord Barov with combinations of clears like just a Broom is not in the meta, then maybe you can do that. Maybe if they are in the meta, you still play this in an elemental synergy mage, just don't put in Grand Finale.
Right. Okay.
I think this is playable regardless. I think it goes in any mage, to be honest, even Secret Mage. It's just good bodies.
Yeah. So next up, we have another elemental, the Firework Elemental. So this is a 5-mana 3/5 battle cry. Deal 3 damage to a minion. If it's been corrupted, deal 12 damage instead.
So it's like Omega Devastator and Warrior.
Yeah.
Except it does 3 damage without being at 10 mana crystals.
Right.
That's what Omega Devastator only did the 10 damage when it 10 mana crystals. So I think this is playable. I mean, this is one of the corrupt cards that if you have to play it uncorrupted to gain board, play a 5-mana 3/5 that destroys a minion for a 3 health or less minion. It's still good. But late game, if you've been able to play a 6 cost or higher card, and you're now doing 12 to get rid of a Ysera, a Deathwing, any of the big beefy minions, then this is good. I think it's. I want to say if Elemental Mage is playable, it's playable, but I think this doesn't have to be an Elemental Mage.
Okay.
I think it's just good.
All right. Next up, we have
Shine.
Paladin. So first up, we have Lothraxion the Redeemed. So he's a 5-mana 5/5 battle cry. For the rest of the game, After you summon a Silverhand recruit, give it Divine Shield.
Yeah, so a lot of people say, well, why is a demon and paladin? They're stretching. This actually goes very along the lines of Lothraxian's lore in World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Lothraxian is a light corrupted demon in World of Warcraft, and I love that they've included him. I was hoping they would include him as like a hero, a hero portrait. So you had themed Silverhand recruits, but they're corrupted. But you know, this is good card. Uh, I know a lot of people say that it's probably only good in Wild because you don't have a lot of Silverhand recruit synergies. But honestly, just having a 1/1 with Divine Shield for 2 mana every turn at your disposal from the point you play this on is great. The fact that he's a 5/5 demon can go into Zoth Paladin. This can go into Pure Paladin. This legendary probably slots into more different type of archetype decks than any other legendary they've ever printed. Other than maybe that was the Wick guy that had lifesteal. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. So now I look, I have two more free legendaries coming to me, and I have fingers and toes crossed this is one of them.
Wicker
Because
Flame Burn Bristle.
yeah,
That's him.
yeah. So I am really hoping that this is one of the rares that I get on Tuesday with my bundles, because I want this card.
So he's getting crafted if I don't open him. The
Yeah,
question I
same
have
here.
is I've already pretty much allocated that Uriel. Uriel is definitely going to be a day one golden craft if I don't open her in golden.
Uh-huh.
Um, I don't know what. I'm looking it up. I want to see what he looks like in golden.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm at 117 of 135 cards out of this set, and of those, 9 are, or
Oh
no,
my gosh.
14 are legendaries that I'm still missing, and so, I opened 9. I actually have 11 legendaries out of this set, so I really want Lorthraxin. If I don't get him free, I'm crafting him.
So Uriel has this like her hammer's going up and down in her golden art. It looks beautiful. Lothraxian, his hand shifts, and of course all that glowing is going on. I really think he might be my second golden
Craft.
We'll just have to see where my dust is at.
Okay.
Oh man, his golden art looks great. I'm going to have him on day one, whether I open him or not.
Okay.
So far I haven't opened him. I haven't opened any Paladin legendaries. But he's going in a couple decks.
Let's move on. Next up we have an epic paladin spell, and there's an interesting story background to this. This was the first card former podcaster Alec Dawson pitched to the team when he joined the initial design team. It's called Oh My Yogg. It's a 1-mana secret. When your opponent casts a spell, they instead cast a random one of the same cost.
And it has random targets as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So we saw this on stream with Crip, and I can't remember what it was, but he had a minion out, and Chalky attempted to clear it with a spell, and it ended up casting an inconsequential spell that didn't do anything. Again, I like the way they're going with secrets that have variable triggers. So it's kind of neat. If Secret Paladin could be a thing, then I would put this in the deck. I might try to build a Secret Paladin. There's not enough synergies, though. I don't know. Maybe it goes in a hybrid deck. Maybe Secret Pure. Instead of running Librams, you run Secrets.
Right.
You're going to want this on random effects a lot. They give you random secrets and things. I think it'll work out well. Putting it in a deck, I don't know, but man, it's a really cool effect. I like it.
Yeah. Next up,
I just don't think it's that good.
Next up, we have a rare paladin minion, the Carnival Barker. He's a 3 mana, 3/2. Whenever you summon a 1 health minion, give it +1/+2. So this kind of is reminiscent of the Hobgoblin days.
Yeah.
And curious how this would work in conjunction with Hobgoblin and Wild.
Well, it's whenever you play a 1 attack minion.
Oh,
So,
okay.
not 1 health.
But
so
what if you play a 1/1 minion and you have both on board? Does it get +2/+3?
I believe it would, based on how it goes. Now, some people thought this would buff the braggarts, and technically it does.
Okay.
But now it will buff anything that also buffs itself when it comes in play. But what happens with braggart is it enters play and it gets the +1/+2 buff, so it becomes a 2/3. And then braggart's battle cry says gain enough attack and health to match the highest on the board. So it does that from the 2/3 stats, not the 1/1 stats.
Right.
So technically it's working, but it's the
they
order.
They kind of count it, overwrites.
It counters itself.
Yeah.
But if you play something else that's a 1/1 that buffs when it comes into play, it will get buffed to 2/3 and then take those extra. So like standard just plus whatever buffs will still happen.
Okay.
I think Carnival Barker's good. And mind you, it says whenever you summon a 1 health minion, where Hobgoblin says play. So you couldn't get it on your Silverhand recruits. And we always said in the Paladin community that Hobgoblin would be broken if you could buff your Silverhand recruits. Well, right. This buffs your Silverhand recruits. So every Silverhand recruit you summon will become a 2/3 Silverhand recruit.
Okay. All right. So that brings us to the card that I opened about 12 of in my 128 packs. This
card art is my spirit animal.
So it is a rare spell, paladin spell, Snack Run, 2 mana, discover a spell, restore health to your hero equal to its cost.
So if you ever see me at any kind of fair, this is how I look all the time. I've just got an armful of drinks and snacks and corn dogs and funnel cakes. I love the card art. This card would be so much better in almost any other class.
I'm very much looking forward to the dust I'm getting off this card, because like I said, if you watch my pack opening video, almost every other pack was a Snack Run.
The reason I don't think Snack Run is going to be good is because it's Paladin, and you're going to get a lot. The main reason you run this is for the extra inconsequential heal, as well as another spell. Paladin has a lot of dead spells. You don't want to pull Holy Wrath off this. Sure, that's 5 health, but what are you going to do with the Holy Wrath? It's 5 mana draw 1 that does almost no damage. And most of the time, you're going to only get 1 health and get secrets off of this, because Paladin, the base set, is filled with secrets. So I just don't think it's good enough. Now, once they rework the classic set, as we think they're going to do, it's rumored, and we believe they're going to do next year, and they start rotating out a lot of the secrets and bad spells out of Paladin, maybe this becomes better. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. So that brings us to the next page. If I can click the button. We have the Red Scale Dragon Tamer. So this is a Murloc minion. It's a 2 mana, 2/3, Death Rattle, draw a dragon. So
it's good.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people
Paladin has some good dragons.
So, Murloc Paladin is another deck that I really want to get into. And in that deck, you ran Scale Lords. The problem was there was an inconsistency because Scale Lords are the only non-Murloc in there, and you had ways to get your Murlocs and summon Murlocs and all kinds of stuff with Murlocs. But if you didn't draw those Scale Lords, a lot of times you didn't have that sustain. A Scale Lord's a 5 mana 5/6 dragon out of the Descent of Dragons. No, it's the bonus expansion from the Descent of Dragons. And it has Battlecry, give your Murlocs Divine Shield, but you almost never drew the Scale Lord, so you stop putting it in your deck. Well, this is an early card that can draw you that Scale Lord, which thins your deck even more. And it's just it's a 2 mana. It's a good 2 mana curve play.
Yeah.
It's not a bad one to have in the pool. Yeah, I like it.
All right. Next, moving on to Priest. We've already seen the Priest legendaries, so we're starting with a epic spell, Idol of Yasarj. It's an 8 mana. Summon a 10/10 copy of a minion in your deck. So this could be a 10/10 of any minion in your deck.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, for 8 costs, I just don't know. If this goes in a Res Priest, but I'm playing Res Priest right now. That's why I took the Legend this month. And I wouldn't want to put this in my deck. I mean, sure, it gets you a 10/10, minion that adds to that res pool, but is that important?
Yeah.
I don't think it is, because when it comes back, it's not going to come back as a 10/10.
Right. Okay, next up, we have Gahoon the Blood God. Okay, so we didn't see all the legendaries.
Oh, did I misorder them? Yeah, I'm sorry. I must have misordered them.
So, Gahoon the Blood God is an 8 mana 8/8 battle cry. Draw 2 cards. They cost health instead of mana. So I opened this legendary. I have it. Don't know how I feel about it because, again, we've seen this in tavern brawls where you use health to play a card instead of mana, and it can really help you ramp. But this is an 8 mana minion, so it's going to be late game. How willing are you going to be to spend the health on those cards?
I heard somebody say they'd rather put Geppetto Joybuzz in their deck. And I kind of get that sentiment. The thing is it draws 2 cards. It doesn't have to be a minion. It can make spells cost health instead of mana. The question is, can you build a deck refined enough to utilize this as a combo? Or are you just doing it to get a bunch of stuff out in one turn on a late turn with an 8/8 body? And if it's the latter, I don't think it's worth a spot in your deck. But if there is some kind of broken combo with this, I almost wish it was targeted draw, like Battlecry, draw 2 minions. They cost health instead of mana, or draw 2 spells. The fact that it says card, I'm not sure how good that is.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see. I'm sure somebody will break this if it's breakable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and I know why I put it second, because of the next card.
Oh,
no, or I got Idol of Yasarj on its own. I just I meant to delete that other slide, and I didn't.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So here we have Blood of Gahoon. It's a 9 mana 8/8 taunt elemental minion. At the end of your turn, summon a 5/5 copy of a minion in your deck.
So this I do like, because for 9 mana you're getting an 8/8 taunt and a 5/5, and who cares what the 5/5 is? And it's not taking any resources from your deck; it's just using your deck as a resource. Yeah. The only thing is, are you running enough minions that you haven't drawn all your minions by the time you play this? And in a Res Priest, in the one I'm running right now, I think the answer is that you're not running. You're running enough minions. I think it's fine. and it adds those to the pool. So where I think Blood of Cahoon is good, uh, while Idol Yashar's is bad, is because of the two bodies. And in Res Priest, if you bring back this 8/8 taunt, that's going to then continue to give you more 5/5s. You don't feel bad, other than bringing back that 10/10 at its original stats. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I think Blood of Cahoon is better than Idol Yashar's, and goes in Res Priest.
Okay. All right. Moving on. We have a rare priest spell, Auspicious Spirits. It's a 4 mana. Summon a random 4-cost minion. Corrupt. Summon a 7-cost minion instead.
So I got to play with this in duels, and I can confirm from playing this that this card is better before you corrupt it.
Okay.
4 cost is usually pretty good, and 7 cost is sometimes lower statted than the 4 cost minion.
That's true.
So I think if this was corrupt summon an 8 cost minion instead, that this would be an amazing card. But the fact that it's 7, it's bad.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Nazmani Bloodweaver. So this is a 3 mana 2/5. After you cast a spell, reduce the cost of a random card in your hand by 1.
So 3 mana 2/5 is just good sticky stats, and anything that reduces the cost of cards in your hand at all is has been found ways to break the game. Look at Emperor Thorson. The question is, can you cast enough spells to benefit from this in one turn? And Sethic Veilweaver tells me you can. If you can late game play this alongside a Sethic Veilweaver, cast a spell on a minion that gives you a low costed spell, maybe Powered Shield or a Silence, and you can chain. All of a sudden, your whole hand gets reduced, and maybe those cards that are in your hand have some kind of combo potential. I don't think there's anything in Priest that would allow you to Nalagos, but maybe there's something else we're not seeing yet.
Yeah.
I think this has a potential. It's going to be a niche, but I think it has potential to be broken somewhere.
Okay. And next up, we have Palm Reading. So this is a 3 mana spell. Discover a spell. Reduce the cost of spells in your hand by 1. I think this is, like you just said, anytime you can reduce the cost. Nesmani does a random card. This reduces all spells in your hand by 1.
Yeah, we played Renew just to get a Discover spell. Sometimes we heal our face when we're at full health, and this discovers a spell and reduces cost. This is great. It goes in every priest deck.
Yeah.
Enough said.
All right, moving on. We have another priest minion, the Fairground Fool. So he's a 3 mana 4/3 with taunt. Or if he's corrupted, he gains +4 health. So if corrupted, he's a 3 mana 4/7.
He's an injured Blade Master fully healed with taunt.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Is there a deck that benefits from that? Maybe a Tempo Priest? I don't know. But if there is a deck that can benefit from it, this goes in it.
Okay. And then next up, we have Insight. So this is a common spell. 2 mana, draw a minion. Or if it's corrupted, reduce its cost by 2.
Some kind of old god's getting reduced down to 8 mana with this. And
yeah.
The fact that maybe you could run I don't know if you'd want to run a Brewmaster next to it, a Youthful Brewmaster next to it, just to be able to bounce it. I don't know if it's worth that, but Priest is, because it's having so much reduction in cost cards, something in Priest is going to be broken.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see what Wicked Good does with it.
All right, let's move on and talk Rogue. So first up, we have Tenwu of the Red Smoke. So he's a 2 mana, 3/2 minion, battle cry. Return a friendly minion to your hand. It costs 1 this turn.
So a lot of people say, is this better than Shadow Step? Is it worth running in your deck instead of Shadow Step? And basically, there's a break point. I think once you get to 4 mana, anything 4 and under, it's not really worth using this over a Shadow Step. But once you get beyond that, you start getting mana advantages. Imagine this with Kronks. You play Kronks, you then Tenwu it, that's 8 mana. You then play a 1 mana Kronks again,
Yeah.
and then you Shadow Step to Tenwu, and then play Tenwu for free on Kronks, and then Kronks again. That's 10 mana, that's 15 damage to face.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
Now, again, perfect scenario that requires 3 cards.
Right.
3-card combos are hard to do. That's kind of the breaking point of anything more than 3 cards, it's not worth the combo. So maybe it's right at that fringe of you put this in your Galakron Rogue deck, which has come back to fruition lately. It's Galakron Rogue's very popular. And if you can pull that off, you do. If not, you could also play Kronks to get your Galakron, play Tenwu to get your Kronks back. For that's maybe it's not 1 mana.
Yeah.
The next turn, but at least you have the Kronks. I don't know. I think there's room for this in Rogue.
Yeah.
Whether it's good, we'll have to see.
I love the if you've not noticed in duels, they give you a description of each of the classes, like how they play and what they do. And I love the rogue description. It says, treat your board like a bouncy castle.
Yeah, a Tenwu. That's what Tenwu does.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a epic spell, Malevolent Strike. So this is a 5 mana, destroy a minion. Costs 1 less for each card in your deck that didn't start there.
So there's lots of destroy a minion cards in Rogue that might be better than this. Assassinate is just 5 mana, does this. So right at this point, it's an Assassinate on its base. If you can shuffle things into your deck, it does lower the cost, but you could also end up drawing those. So it might get it down to like 1, 2 mana, but then if you draw those cards, it goes back up. It can go back up to 5. So you kind of have to time this right, where you have things in your deck and you have something worth destroying on the board. Could this be a free destruction card? Sure. Mm-hmm. Could it be a free card that stacks on the combos? Definitely. If a combo-centric deck exists that puts cards into your deck that didn't start there, then I want Malevolent Strike in that deck.
Yeah.
We'll see if that deck exists. Right. So I think it's fringe.
Okay. Next up, we have another epic rogue spell, Cloak of Shadows. It's a 3 mana, give your hero stealth for 1 turn.
So this is timeout for Rogue. I mean, not as good because things that randomly hit targets can still hit you in the face, or things that specifically say the enemy hero can still hit you in the face if that's not targeted. But for the most part, this is a turn on turn 10. You spend 7 mana to set up a combo, and then you play this for 3 mana like you would with timeout. And I think it's good. I think if there's a combo deck that exists in Rogue, and I believe there will be, you play this. Maybe this stalls so you can play your old god that you just drew. Maybe you just finished assembling Cthulhu, and you need to you're guaranteed to draw him for one reason or another. Maybe you played Polkelt after shuffling him in, and then you play Cloak of Shadows so that next turn, if they don't find a way to shuffle your deck or burn the top card or something, they're gonna get Cthulhu. So I think it's a good card.
Okay. Next up, we have Shadow Clone. This is a new rogue secret. It is a rare, so it's 2 mana. Secret, after a minion attacks your hero, summon a copy of it with stealth.
It's weird. This to me looks like should be a hunter secret.
Okay.
It doesn't make me not like it. I like it. I just don't know how good it will be in Rogue. But to me, this reminds me of what was that? There was one Hunter Secret that did something similar, where if you attacked the face, it summoned a 3-cost minion, and you attacked it, sure, but I don't know. I wish this made it attack it instead of just putting it on the board. Because if they have lethal damage to your face, it doesn't matter if you summon a minion or not.
Right.
So this is obviously going to be used for tempo. I don't know. 2 mana, get a free minion, and it could be a good one depending what they have on board. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Okay. Next up, we have a rare, or not a rare, a common rogue minion, the Foxy Fraud. 2 mana, 3/2, Battle Cry. Your next combo card this turn costs 2 less.
This is going to make combo decks, and I don't mean the mechanic combo. I mean combos to kill your opponent decks good. And I mean, being able to get a cheap Edwin. Sometimes you're at that point where I want to get a little more out of this, but I still have to have 3 mana for my Edwin. Well, this allows you to, if you have that 3 mana, it gets you an extra +2/+2 on your Edwin. Obviously, there's lots of other uses with this. I think Foxy Fraud goes in every single rogue deck. It's amazing.
Okay.
If you use combo in the deck, which usually you do, it goes there.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have another common minion, Sweet Tooth. It's a 2 mana, 3/2, corrupt, gain +2 attack, and stealth.
I don't think this is good. And the reason I don't think it's good is because if you play this on 2 before it's corrupt, it doesn't have stealth. If this was a 2 mana 3/2 with stealth, a corrupt gain +2 attack, it'd be playable.
Okay.
The fact that it has to be corrupted to have stealth, it's not good.
Okay. Then we have another common spell, Swindle. 2 mana, draw a spell, combo, and a minion.
This is amazing. Turn 2, Foxy Fraud, Swindle. So you play 2 cards. You play a minion and a spell to draw a minion and a spell. This is great.
Yeah.
It's great tempo. It goes right with Foxy Fraud in every deck.
Yep. Okay. Next up, we have Shaman. And we have Grand Totem Eyesore.
I love the name.
So this was my free legendary from the progression track. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this works. It is a totem, so it's a 3 mana 0/4. At the end of your turn, give +1/+1 to all other totems in your hand, deck, and battlefield.
What do you think of this card?
Well,
other than it being an eyesore, because it is definitely an ugly totem.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a guaranteed +1/+1 to all totems in your hand, deck, and battlefield. And if it survives more than a turn, that's +2/+2. And
the problem,
I don't know. So I've not played Totem Shaman lately. I know Totem Shaman is a viable deck out there, but I don't know what non-basic totems are being played in Totem Shaman right now.
So when I first started, when I first saw this card, I was like, "Oh, great! They're going to print some great totems, and we're kind of go back to the olden ages of totems in your deck." And after I saw this and saw it was the only totem other than the amalgam, they have a new amalgam out, which we'll talk about later. You have Evil Totem, Trick Totem, Manatide Totem, Totem Goliath, and that's it. There are 4 standard legal totems to put in your deck. And honestly, in the way the Totem Shaman is now, do you even want Manatide Totems?
Right.
Do you want Trick Totems? Trick Totems can backfire.
Yeah.
Now, with it doesn't buff itself, but if you Splitting Axe it or Totem Reflection it, then it will one will buff the other.
Right.
So that's a positive thing. So in a deck, if you can make sure to totem reflection this or splitting axis, then that's good. But I don't know if totem shaman is a thing now. It's good, but I don't know how much better this makes that deck.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have Inara Storm Crash. So this is a legendary minion. It's a 5 mana 4/5. On your turn, your hero has +2 attack and Wind Fury.
Your hero becomes a Stormforge X. No,
No, a Doom
not
Hammer.
Doomhammer. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I was thinking Stormforge X is part of that deck. Your hero becomes a Doomhammer, and that's very beneficial. So this is the new. We knew there was going to be a new shaman they were going to try to introduce, and I thought it was going to be Totem, but it's going to be what they're calling Enhancement Shaman. So it's all about weapons and using your attacks as beneficial effects.
Yeah.
And I hope this becomes popular because this is a cool way to play Shaman.
It is. It is. So, all right. Moving on, we have a epic spell Deathmatch Pavilion. 2 mana. Summon a 3/2 duelist. If your hero attacked this turn, summon another.
So this is where I was meaning to say Stormforge Axe. If you play Stormforge Axe on 2, it's the 2 mana is a 2/3 weapon, I think is what it is. That overloads you for 1. And so you play this on 2, and then on 3 you'll be at 2 mana. You attack with a Stormforge. It's a 2/3 weapon.
Yeah.
You attack with the Stormforge Axe, and then get 2 3/2 minions. That's tempo.
That is
crazy tempo. Yeah. And then if you're putting in overload beneficial synergy cards with that, that's even going to be better. Yeah, I like the style of Shaman. I hope it's good.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Next up, we have Magic Fin. So this is a Shaman Murloc epic minion. It's a 3 mana 3/4. After a friendly Murloc dies, add a random legendary minion to your hand.
I like that it adds it to your hand and not on the board.
Legendary minions are good.
Yeah. Yes. Says that one floating head in the solo content. They didn't put in enough Murlocs for me to want to think Murloc Shaman could be a thing. Shaman got little of everything. They got a little Totem synergy, they got a little Murloc synergy, then they got this Enhancement Shaman stuff. I think Shaman spread too thin. Where most classes got like 2 different directions, yeah. Shaman went like 3, kind of 4 different directions. So right. We'll just have to see. I don't think it's very good.
All right. Next up, we have Whack-A-Knoll Hammer. So this is a rare weapon. It's a 3 mana 3/2. After your hero attacks, give a random friendly minion +1/+1.
This was my favorite thing to do at the Darkmoon Faire when I played World of Warcraft. First thing I would do is run over to the Whack-A-Knolls. I just love doing that quest. This is good. It goes into Enhancement Shaman. There is some ordering issues with some of the other cards, but honestly, if you have a totem out on the board, it just gives your totem pluses. Maybe you put this in the Totem Shaman just to buff those totems you already have on there. Maybe you swing with this, and then you buff the totem, then you put Totem Reflections on it, so now it gets the +2/+2 on top of this +1/+1 I had, and then it duplicates itself. So there's a lot of good synergies that this card can go in multiple decks, so I like it.
Yeah. So next up, we had just talked about the Deathmatch Pavilion and creating that tempo. Well, yes. Next we have the Pitmaster. So it's a rare 3 mana 1/2 minion, Battlecry, summon a 3/2 duelist.
Great stats.
Corrupted, summon 2.
Yeah, this is another, flood the board. Maybe you put Bloodlust in this deck just because you're going to have lots of minions on the board. I like it. It's good.
Okay. Next up, we have the Cage Match Custodian. So this is an elemental minion. It's a common minion. 2 mana, 2/2, battle cry, draw a weapon. So if you don't start with a weapon in your hand, this gets it for you.
The biggest thing for me was, do you want to flood your deck with a bunch of weapons for this enhancement shaman? What if you get stuck with too many? Well, this is a 2/2 minion that acts as a weapon, kind of. It makes sure you draw one of those weapons. Targeted draw is always good in card games. Magic the Gathering taught us that, and it's no different in Hearthstone. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a common shaman spell, Storm Strike, but this hammer in the art is clearly Mjolnir. I mean, it could be kinda Doomhammer, but it's a 3 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion, give your hero +3 attack. Now, I want to show you this. For those of you watching on the video,
really cool.
It is probably my favorite golden art of any of the goldens I've pulled in this set thus far.
Yeah, the art animation team is doing a really good job with this set. I'm loving it so far with golden art. But this is a good card. I mean, part of me wants that 3 damage to be able to go face, so it's a total of 6 damage, but maybe it's broken if you can do that. But maybe you... The problem is if you if you're ahead on the board, you have to zap one of your minions.
Right.
It doesn't say enemy minion.
It just says a minion.
It just says a minion. So if you're ahead, then it's not very good. But I don't know. I think it goes in that enhancement shaman deck. But if you make room for other cards, you cut this first probably.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Revolve. So this is a common spell, 1 mana, transform all minions into random ones with the same cost.
This card art, if I was at a fair and saw this carousel, it's a gigantic popcorn-sized bucket of nope. I'm not getting on any one of those carousels. I don't know how good this is. I mean, maybe you use it defensively to change a minion your opponent has, so it doesn't have a death rattle, it doesn't have taunt. It also affects your minions, so then you can't play this and then attack. I don't know. I don't think it fits anywhere. I don't think it's very good.
Okay. All right. Next up, we are looking at Warlock.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have both Warlock minions to talk about, or both Warlock legendaries to talk about, sorry. Mm-hmm. First up, we have Deck of Chaos. So this is a 6 mana spell. Swap the cost and attack of all minions in your deck.
So I think this is the only one I rated a 6 on our spreadsheet, and we reserve 6s for cards we believe are going to be nerfed. And I think this card will be nerfed. I think 7 mana is probably a good spot. 8 mana is probably ideal. The fact that you're swapping the cost and attack of all minions in your deck, if you hit a Malagos, it's now 4 cost. Who cares what the attack is? Because at 4 cost, you can do so much damage. I think there's a combo with 10 mana. You can get 32 damage if everything lines up right with all of your damage spells, which in a plot twist Warlock, which we might see again, maybe you can do that. I think plot twist is still in the meta, right?
Yes, it is.
I think with plot twist, the fact that you can reshuffle cards into your deck at a certain point makes this good. If you draw into your Malagos before you play Deck Chaos, you shuffle them back into your deck. Again, there's still some variance in that, and there always is in combo decks, but I think for that reason, you can also get really big demons out for really cheap because they have low attack but high cost. So now they have low cost and high attack. I think it's good. I think it's really good.
Okay. Next up, we have Ticketus. So, Ticketus is a legendary demon, 6 mana, 8/8, battle cry. Remove the top 5 cards of your deck. However, if he's corrupted, his battle cry is remove the top 5 cards from your opponent's deck.
So you have to play a 7 cost or higher to corrupt this, unless this is the only demon in your deck and you play Demonic Studies. Because every time you play Demonic Studies, it reduces the cost of the next demon you play by 1.
Oh.
So you play 2 Demonic Studies, and then all of a sudden your Ticketus is 4 mana. You now play a 5 mana minion or any other card, and he corrupts because he was 4 cost. So because it goes off what their cost is showing at the time. So he won't be too hard to corrupt in the right deck, and then all of a sudden you're taking 5 cards away from your opponent. If it's a combo deck, it's severely reducing their effectiveness.
Yeah.
It could kill their combo. So I like Ticketus a lot.
Yeah. I just like saying Ticketus.
So a lot of people are having trouble with the name. I like it because it's like you get a ticket at a fair.
Yeah.
Ticketus. It's like, I expect this gigantic lumbering demon standing there going, tickets, please. Tickets, please.
his if you haven't seen his what's the word I'm looking for?
Flavor text?
Flavor text, that's it. Says, these are all expired.
This is nice. I like it.
So, all right. Next up, we have an epic warlock spell, Cascading Disaster. So, this is a 4 mana spell, and it's destroy a random enemy minion. Or, once corrupted, destroy 2 random enemy minions. Or it can be corrupted again to destroy 3 random enemy minions.
Yeah, so this is the first one we see with multiple corrupt effects. I think there's a neutral that you can corrupt multiple times, but it's always the same effect. So
Yeah.
this is neat. I like. You're the warlock guy. Is a slow warlock viable enough to play this?
I mean, the one thing warlock has always been good at was kind of controlling the pace of the game.
Okay.
Warlock can slow the game down, I think, just as well as a priest can. And so getting to a point where you're playing spells that cost 5 or more is pretty easy for a warlock. So yeah, I don't think it would be too difficult to corrupt this multiple times. Okay. and then cast it and destroy 3 minions on your opponent's side of the board, because that's what warlock does. They destroy your opponent's minions.
Cool. I like it.
I do too. Next up, we have a rare spell, Free Admission. It's 3 mana, draw 2 minions. If they're both demons, reduce their cost by 2. So you were just talking about reducing Ticketus.
Yeah. So this is targeted draw at the same cost of Arcane Intellect, which is kind of what we base all draw 2 cards off of. So 3 mana, draw 2, just like Arcane Intellect, but it's guaranteed to give you 2 minions. And if you only have demons in your deck, they're guaranteed to be reduced by 2. So maybe there is a spell heavy that has a lot of spells to control the board that has specific demons.
Yeah.
The Prime is a demon that summons more demons that died that game. You have Ticketus. You have some good demons in there that are fairly high cost, but when now all of a sudden their cost reduction is reduced by 2 because of free admission, and maybe reduced additionally because of demonic studies, all of a sudden these 8 cost, 7 cost, 6 cost demons aren't so bad.
Yep. So, all right. Moving on, we have the Ring Matron. She is a 6 mana common demon. 6 attack, 4 health, taunt, death rattle, summon 2 3/2 imps.
We talked about token druid not having taunts, and usually it doesn't have taunts, so it's kind of against our feeling to put taunts in a token based aggressive strategy. I think this is a taunt you put in Zoo.
Okay.
Because it's a big 6/4 taunt that they have to deal with. They can't get through your smaller minions unless they deal with it, and it pops out 2 3/2s that we've learned 3/2s are good, especially if you can get them out early.
Yeah.
And get them out in abundance. You know that flame imp play back in the day was just like how they deal with 2 flame imps on turn 1.
Yeah.
You know.
Next up, we have the Minari Mosher. It's a 3 mana, 3/4 battle cry. Give a friendly demon +3 attack and life steal this turn.
I want to like this because it's got good effects and good stats, and maybe there's a demon-based Zoo. But in the demon deck, I think we're going to be making it's going to be heavy demons, and I don't think this fits. But if we have a demon-based Zoo, which we have a few low cost of demons, we're about to talk about another one, this would go in it, and it gives you that little health sustain to offset you having to tap
and
so vigorously.
If you draw this with free admission, it only costs 1 to play.
Yeah, maybe free admission goes in a demon-based Zoo where it's a Zoo strategy, which I don't like using that statement, demon-based Zoo, because Zoo was taken from Magic the Gathering, which meant you had lots of non-tribal. They didn't share synergy, but in Hearthstone, Zoo is just a bunch of small minions, kind of like a swarm style deck. And if you do all demons in that deck, this goes in there, the free admission goes in there, and those, that's good value.
Yeah. All right. And next up, we have the Midway Maniac. He's a 2 mana, 1/5 taunt demon.
Yeah, turn 2 Midway Maniac. 2 mana, 1/5 is hard to deal with. We've talked about before. The fact that it has taunts even worse. Then you Minari Mosher right afterwards to give it +3 attack, making a 4/5. It has lifesteal.
Yep.
It's good. It's good.
Yep. All right.
Maybe that deck exists, and maybe it's going to be good.
Moving on to Warrior. Now, we have already talked about both of the Warrior legendaries.
And the epics.
So here we have Bumper Car. It's a 2 mana, 1/3 mech. That's important because, mech is part of that triple menagerie in Warrior. This has Rush, Death Rattle, add 2 1/1 riders with Rush to your hand.
Yeah, and there's lots of benefits from having cheap Rush minions. We have ETC. Anytime you attack with a Rush minion, it's going to face. And the fact that these are 1/1 mana 1/1 rushes is important. I think it's good. It can go in 2 different decks, the Menagerie deck and the Rush deck. So it's versatile. So yeah, I like Bumper Car a lot.
Okay. Next up, we have Stage Dive. It is a rare spell, 1 mana, draw a Rush minion. If it's corrupted, give it +2/+1 as well.
Yeah, this is another corrupt card that doesn't feel so bad when you have to play it uncorrupted. 1 mana, just draw a targeted minion, a Rush minion, is good.
Yeah.
We're playing the Athletic Studies now, which is 1 mana, discover a Rush minion. Sure, the cost is reduced, but the fact that this has versatility later game where the Athletic Study doesn't necessarily have that benefit, that once you play something on turn 2 or higher, all of a sudden it gets +2/+1. I think it's good.
Yeah, and then we have probably one of my favorite named cards in this set. a rare spell, the Feat of Strength. It's 3 mana. Give a random taunt minion in your hand +5/+5. Now, the flavor text for this is generally happens right after the airing of grievances. So
Yeah.
anyone who's familiar with Festivus will get
Yes.
that. It's hilarious. I love the card.
Is that
But
a Seinfeld reference?
it is a Seinfeld reference. But I don't know that this card's going to see a whole lot of play because again, it's hand buff,
Yeah,
and
I don't think so either. I mean, there is a world where the N'Zoth deck has a lot of taunts. There's the I think it's a 3/8 taunt that's a mech that duplicates itself. It will come back with N'Zoth. There's the armadillo.
Uh-huh.
It'll come back with N'Zoth. So maybe giving those taunts +5/+5. I don't. It only gives a random taunt in your hand, so you
Right.
can't target it, and it's not giving all taunts any kind of buff. So
Yeah.
because of that, I think it doesn't go in that deck. But I don't know. Maybe there's some testing to be done.
Okay. Next up, we have the Stage Hand. It is a common mech minion. 2 mana, 3 attack, 2 health, battle cry. Give a random minion in your hand +1/+1.
So I think this being a mech hurts it because it gets brought back by N'Zoth. And for that reason, you don't play it in a Menagerie deck. Is hand buffing a thing now? I don't know. I don't. It wasn't before, so I don't think this is good. But I mean, 2 mana 3/2 is not bad. It's aggressive stats.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe there's a Tempo Warrior that just puts us in there.
Next up, we have the Sword Eater. This is a common pirate minion. It's a 4 mana, 2 attack, 5 health taunt with a battle cry. Equip a 3/2 sword. Now,
This is good.
this is very good. It's important to note that 3/2 sword costs 3 mana. So this is basically a 1 mana 2/5 taunt.
Yeah, and it's a pirate, so it's
And
a
it's a
2/5
pirate.
taunt.
Yeah.
It's a 2/5 taunt that gets brought back by N'Zoth.
Yeah.
So that's protecting your other minions. So yeah, it's good. It's really good.
I like it. Next up, we have a common spell, 2 mana, Minefield. Deal 5 damage, randomly split among all minions.
Yes, it's your minions too.
Yeah.
It doesn't go face at all.
Nope.
They said original testing of this card, it shuffled bombs into decks, but they ended up not going with that. So then when they put it in Darkmoon Faire, they wanted something else besides the bomb mechanic, because the bomb mechanic, they were trying to go back to the bomb mechanic to kind of revive it, but it came back on its own. So they last minute kind of switched this card to this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good.
I agree. I don't either. That brings us to neutrals. So
Yeah, we've talked about all the legendaries, because the neutrals in neutral legendaries in this set are Silas, which we got for free, and the 4 old gods.
correct.
So we're going right into the
Epics.
one epic that we haven't heard.
Yeah, which is the Carnival Clown.
Scares me.
So this is a 9 mana, 4/4 battle cry. Summon 2 copies of this. Corrupted. Fill your board with this minion.
So they really hyped up this card by saying, oh, we have a 9 mana corrupt card that you have to have a 10 cost to corrupt it. It's going to be really strong. And I just don't think it is. 9 mana, fill your board with 4/4s. You can flame strike that. There's a lot of board clears to deal with. If they were 5/5s, that would make this card so much better.
Yes, I agree 100%.
It's at a break point that's just
Too easy to
deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think this is a flop. I
this-
think if they ever
yeah.
go back and rework and buff cards from this set like they've done before, this might get a buff.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a rare Derailed Coaster. It's a 5 mana 3/2 battle cry. Summon a 1/1 rider with Rush for each minion in your hand.
I kind of want this. You could play this alongside ETC, but and maybe it's good in that Rush deck. But I would actually like to get these Rush minions in my hand.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not terrible. And again, it depends on what kind of board state your opponent has. That Rush deck kind of is better from behind, so maybe it won't see much play. We'll see.
Okay. Next up, we have Kathir Ritualist. It's a 3 mana 4/4 taunt, which is fantastic until you get to the battle cry. Add a random 4-cost minion to your opponent's hand. And as we said earlier, 4-cost minions are pretty good.
Well, I have to disagree with you. 3 mana 4/4 taunt is not good stats, especially with a negative effect like this. This is trash. It's a horrible card. Sure, the 3 mana slot, if you're evolving or using Witchy-Lackey, gets a little better. You don't mind getting this out of a 2-drop going to 3. But ultimately, I do not want to put this in a deck. If it was like 3 mana 6/6 taunt, maybe, but probably not. Still, giving your opponents anything is just dicey.
Yeah, bad. All right, then we have another rare minion, the Safety Inspector. It's a 1 mana 1/3 battle cry. Shuffle the lowest cost card from your hand into your deck and draw a card.
So 1 mana 1/3s are usually good. This is a draw of some form. We did see in the reveal stream that this can shuffle a card into your deck and draw that same card, because he had a Safety Inspector in hand. So he played this, shuffled the other Safety Inspector, and it drew Safety Inspector.
Yeah.
Which we know there wasn't two more copies of Safety Inspector in the deck, so it had to been the same card.
Right.
So that kind of lowers this a bit. The fact that the card you shuffle is in the pool of cards you get to draw. But it's not terrible. Maybe an aggressive strategy just wants to shuffle some of their cards to get other tools.
Yeah.
It's not positive card draw. It's neutral card draw, because you're trading a card for another card. So maybe not so good. Yeah.
Okay. Now we're into the commons. So we're going to kind of gloss over these pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We have Optimistic Ogre. It's a 5 mana 6/7. And like most ogres, a 50% chance to attack the correct enemy.
Yeah, I like how they changed the wording to correct instead of wrong. It's the same card, but
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah.
It's Boulder Fist Ogre stats, but for a mana cheaper and with this negative effect. So
Yeah.
All
right.
Not good.
Then we have Strongman. He's a 7 mana 6/6 with taunt. If he's corrupted, he costs 0.
Yeah, you have to play an 8 cost. There's not a lot of ways to reduce this. It's not part of a tribe or anything. So, yeah, you have to play an 8 cost to get it to be 0 cost. I don't think it's good.
Yeah. And then you've got Claw Machine. Claw Machine is a 6 mana mech with it's a 6 attack, 3 health, rush, death rattle, give a minion, draw a minion, and give it +3/+3.
I think this is good. It's targeted draw. It's stat buffs. I like it.
Okay. Next up, we have Knife Vendor. So this is a 4 mana 3/4 battle cry. Deal 4 damage to each hero.
So I think this might go in Demon Hunter. They have a 0 cost card called Blur that makes your hero immune for that turn. There's also a couple other cards that make your hero immune for a turn.
Uh-huh.
And I think Knife Vendor might go in that deck, because that's +4 damage if you use it with that. Other than that, it's just neutral damage. Maybe it's an aggressive deck that just wants it doesn't care about its health so much because it's the aggressor.
Okay.
So I think it's good. Four
All
mana,
right.
3/4 is not terrible stats. With 4 damage is good.
Yeah. Next up, we have an elemental fantastic firebird. So it's a 4 mana 3/5 with Wind Fury.
So this goes into those Wind Fury cards. Everybody's like, oh, Wind Fury's the card's just terrible. It's too slow. But the minute you see it on the board, the first thing you want to do is destroy it. So I don't think it's good. Maybe you put this in some elemental synergies for basically a 4 mana 3/5 taunt because they have to kill it or they're going to take 6 damage.
Yeah.
And it fuels your elemental synergies.
So next up, we have an interesting card. The Circus Medic. So this is a 4 mana 3/4 battle cry, restore 4 health. But if it's corrupted, its battle cry becomes deal 4 damage. That seems pretty versatile. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if early game you want to restore 4 health, maybe to a minion that you're trading. But in a tempo deck, this is that burst of extra damage you need later. Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know how this works. So if corrupt says deal 4 damage instead, is it still a battle cry at that point?
Yes. Hang on. Yes, it is. In fact, I can show you. If you look at the screen here, you can see the corrupted version is battle cry, deal 4 damage.
So in Wild, if you corrupt this and you use the corrupted ability, that ability goes in the stack for Shudderwalk.
Yes, it does.
Again, it's our random target. It's not at hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Sure.
All right. Moving on, we have the Circus Amalgam. So it's a 4 mana 4/5 taunt. Has all minion tops because it's an amalgam.
Yeah, it's a 4/5 taunt that goes in that missing slot for your N'Zoth decks.
Yeah.
So maybe you can't put all of the tribes in there. Maybe there's not a good one for your class. You throw in a Circus Amalgam and you're guaranteed to get a 4/5 taunt off your N'Zoth if this dies. So not bad. I love the art. It's like a dragon with beast appendages and mechanical appendages, and it has a motor on its back. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It has a pirate hat on it. I love the fact that it just has a pirate hat on it. Makes it a pirate.
And it breathes fire.
Yeah.
So, all right. Pull that back up. Next up, we have the Inconspicuous Rider. So, this is a 3 mana 2/2 battle cry. Cast a secret from your deck.
Yeah. So this goes in every secret deck, regardless of class. But if you don't have secrets in your class, obviously it's not going to do anything because it casts it from your deck. So obviously, if you're running Secret Mage or Secret Hunter, this is definitely good. You could possibly put it in Secret Rogue. I think it doesn't have great value in Secret Paladin because the secrets are only 1 cost, but maybe it's used as a deck thinner. I don't know. I like it. It's versatile.
Okay. Next up, we have Gyreworm. Not exactly
Yeah,
sure.
Either one.
It's a 3 mana 3/2 battle cry. If you played an elemental last turn, deal 3 damage.
Yeah, I mean, in an elemental deck, it's good. It's just 3 damage.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Darkmoon Statue. This is a 3 mana 0/5. Your other minions have +1 attack. If this is corrupted, they have this gains 4 attack.
So yeah, it's an interesting way for them to do the statues. They did statues before where like they made put on their can't attack. Well, this one is 0/5, so it can't attack. But if it's corrupted, it now has attack, so it can attack. So I like it. It's I don't know if it's good, but it's a nice flavor.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Darkmoon Dirigible. This is a 3 mana 3/2 Divine Shield. If it's corrupted, it also gains Rush.
Yeah, and this is a mech. A good thing to note. It's a 3 mana 3/2 with Divine Shield. I think it's just good there. And then the fact that it can get Rush from being corrupted. Yeah. Good
Okay.
card.
Next up, we have the Banana Vendor. This is a 3-mana, 2/4 battle cry. Add 2 bananas to each player's hand.
This is just a buffoon again. Not
Yeah.
banana buffoon. Sorry, BB. I didn't mean to
There you go,
refer to you.
Travis. There's your shout out.
Yeah, shout out. It's a banana buffoon. I think it's even the same character, just a different setting. I don't, unless there's some merit, the combo decks to fill in their hands so they burn cards, but I don't think it's good.
All right. Next up, we have Wriggling Horror. This is a 2-mana, 2/1 battle cry. Give adjacent minions +1/+1.
Any token deck, Demon Hunter, Druid, it's good.
Just bust out
Great.
some extra damage.
Great mana cost. Stats aren't great, but I mean, if you add up all the +1/+1s it's giving, it's essentially a 4/3. That's good.
Yeah. So then we have the Showstopper. It's a 2-mana, 3/2 minion. Death Rattle. Silence all minions.
I think this is good, especially if Death Rattle Hunter becomes a thing. I wish it had Rush, but it might be that they're saying cards this year don't need Rush inherently on Death Rattle effects because you have access to Broom, Animated Broomstick. So maybe with Broom this is better, but that's 2 cards. I like it though. It's definitely good.
Okay. And then we have the Rock Rager. 2-mana, 5/1 taunt elemental.
So imagine if you got this taunt +5/+5 in your hand.
Yeah. So he's now at 10/6.
2 bad cards do not equal a good deck.
But his flavor
It's
text.
a rager.
But
Rager.
his flavor text says still doesn't understand why he can't beat Paper Rager.
The only good thing about Ragers have been their flavor text.
That is true. All right. Last 3 neutral minions. First up, we have the Prize Vendor. So this is a Murloc. It is a 2-mana, 2/3 battle cry. Both players draw a card. So this is a lot like
Cold Light Seer.
Cold Light Seer.
Except it's only 1 instead of 2, which might make things more balanced. The drawing 2 caused a lot of issues, especially when Brand was in the meta.
Yeah.
But you don't have that anymore. But you do have Quest Shaman, which can make battle cards happen twice. So I think this is good. It's good card draw for an aggressive strategy. Also, it can be disruptive to control decks.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Costumed Entertainer. So this is a 2-mana, 1/2 battle cry. Give a random minion in your hand +2/+2.
Well, we skipped a card, but we
okay,
did
yeah, I'll
this
go
one.
back.
This is hand buff. I don't think it's good.
Okay, and then we have the Parade Leader. 2-mana, 2/3. After you summon a rush minion, give it +2 attack.
So I like that it's a static effect, but it gives it attack. So if you play this and play rush minions, then they clear this. They don't lose that +2 attack. They've gained it permanently. So that's good. It's not like the Silverhand Recruit buffs before where if you killed the 1 minion, their attacks will go down. So I do like that it gives them +2 attack. If a rush deck in Warrior is viable, then it's good.
That's it. Yep. All right, gang. That is all of madness at the Darkmoon Faire.
All of it.
I can't believe we covered it all in 3 episodes.
Yeah.
This
We're looking at
episode's
almost
going
3
to come out
hours.
just short of 3 hours, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. So
Yep,
that's gonna.
Because yep.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
done.
That's my brain is fried at this point, and I still have to go rate all the cards on our rating sheet. So that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button below on YouTube. Give us a follow if you haven't done so already, and we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.